What if the sun itself could tell stories? Not just any stories, but tales of divine power, tragic love, and the birth of art itself. Apollo, the radiant god of the sun, music, prophecy, and healing, stands as one of the most captivating figures in ancient mythology. His influence stretches across the heavens and the earth, shaping the lives of mortals and gods alike. From his dramatic birth on the island of Delos to his role in the Trojan War, Apollo's myths are as varied as they are mesmerizing. But what makes him truly extraordinary are the 50 ancient stories that reveal his divine arts and the profound impact he had on the ancient world. These tales are not just myths, they are windows into the beliefs, fears, and dreams of an entire civilization. So, are you ready to uncover the secrets of Apollo's world? Stay with us, because by the end of this journey, you'll not only understand why Apollo was worshipped as one of the most powerful gods, but you'll also discover how his stories continue to inspire us today. Let's dive into the first of these 50 ancient stories, where it all began on the sacred island of Delos. Now, let's step into the very beginning of Apollo's story, a tale of divine struggle, miraculous birth, and the creation of a sacred sanctuary. The island of Delos, a small, rocky speck in the Aegean Sea, became the stage for one of the most dramatic events in Greek mythology. Apollo's mother, Leto, was a Titaness loved by Zeus, but her pregnancy with Apollo and his twin sister Artemis drew the wrath of Hera, Zeus's jealous wife. Hera, determined to punish Leto, forbade any land from offering her refuge to give birth. Leto wandered the earth, rejected by every place she sought, until she finally found solace on the floating island of Delos. Delos at the time was a barren, unstable piece of land, drifting aimlessly on the waves. But when Leto arrived, the island welcomed her, and in return, she promised it would become a sacred site, honored by gods and mortals alike. As Leto clung to a palm tree, Apollo was born, and with his first breath, the island transformed. Delos became anchored to the seafloor, its barren rocks blossoming with life, and it was declared a holy sanctuary, forever tied to Apollo's divine presence. This story isn't just about a miraculous birth, it's about resilience, transformation, and the power of divine favor. Delos became a center of worship, a place where pilgrims traveled to honor Apollo and Artemis. The island's significance grew, and it became a symbol of Apollo's connection to light, order, and the arts. Even today, the ruins of Delos stand as a testament to the enduring legacy of Apollo's birth and the sacred bond between the god and his birthplace. As we move forward, the next chapter of Apollo's story takes us to Delphi, where his divine power would be further cemented through a legendary battle with a fearsome serpent. But for now, let's pause and reflect on how Apollo's birth on Delos set the stage for his role as a god of light, prophecy, and healing, a role that would shape the ancient world in ways no one could have imagined. Now, let's journey from the sacred shores of Delos to the rugged slopes of Mount Parnassus, where Apollo's destiny as a god of prophecy was forged in a legendary battle. Here, in the shadow of the mountain, lay the sanctuary of Delphi, a place shrouded in mystery and power. But before Delphi became the center of Apollo's prophetic arts, it was the domain of a fearsome serpent, the Python. The Python was no ordinary creature. Born from the primordial mud of the earth after the great flood of Deucalion, this monstrous serpent was a guardian of the sacred site, its coils wrapped around the very heart of Delphi. The Python was not just a physical threat, it was a symbol of chaos, a force of darkness that stood in stark contrast to the light and order Apollo would come to represent. When Apollo, still a young god, arrived at Delphi, he faced the Python with unwavering determination. Armed with his silver bow and golden arrows, he confronted the serpent in a fierce battle. The clash was monumental, a struggle between divine order and primal chaos. With a single, precise shot, Apollo struck down the Python, ending its reign and claiming Delphi as his own. But Apollo's victory was more than just a triumph over a monstrous foe. It was a transformative act that reshaped the destiny of Delphi. The slain python's body was left to decay, and from its remains the earth itself seemed to breathe new life. The sanctuary of Delphi became a place of divine inspiration, where the whispers of the gods could be heard through the rustling of the sacred laurel trees and the bubbling of the Castalian spring. To honor his victory and establish his presence, Apollo founded the Oracle of Delphi, a sacred institution that would become the most renowned center of prophecy in the ancient world. The Oracle, or Pythia as she was called, served as Apollo's mouthpiece, delivering cryptic messages and divine guidance to kings, heroes, and ordinary mortals alike. The Pythia's prophecies were sought after for centuries, shaping the course of wars, the founding of cities, and the fates of individuals. This act of slaying the python and establishing the oracle solidified Apollo's role as a god of prophecy, but it also revealed his dual nature. Apollo was not just a bringer of light and order, he was also a god who understood the complexities of fate and the mysteries of the unseen. The Oracle of Delphi became a bridge between the mortal and divine realms, a place where the future could be glimpsed, though often in riddles that required wisdom to decipher. As we reflect on this chapter of Apollo's story, we see how his victory over the python was more than a mythic feat. It was a declaration of his divine authority and a testament to his role as a guide for humanity. Delphi, with its sacred oracle, became a beacon of Apollo's power, a place where the ancient world sought answers, inspiration, and hope. And now, as we move forward, Apollo's story takes a more personal turn as we explore the tragic tale of his love for Daphne, a story that intertwines passion, loss, and the enduring symbol of the laurel tree. From the heights of Delphi, where Apollo's prophetic power shone brightest, we now turn to a tale of love, loss, and transformation, a story that reveals the softer, more vulnerable side of the god of light. This is the story of Apollo and Daphne, a myth that intertwines passion, heartbreak, and the enduring symbol of the laurel tree. It all began with a moment of divine pride. Apollo, still basking in the glory of his victory over the python, encountered Eros, the mischievous god of love. Armed with his bow and arrows, Eros was known for stirring hearts and igniting passions. But when Apollo mocked Eros, claiming his own archery skills were far superior, the god of love decided to teach him a lesson. Eros drew 2 arrows from his quiver, one tipped with gold, the other with lead. The golden arrow struck Apollo, filling him with an overwhelming desire for Daphne, a beautiful nymph devoted to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. The leaden arrow, however, struck Daphne, filling her with an unshakable aversion to love and marriage. From that moment, Apollo was consumed by an unrelenting passion for Daphne. He pursued her with all the fervor of a god, but Daphne, true to her vow of chastity, fled from his advances. She ran through forests and across rivers, her heart pounding with fear, while Apollo, undeterred, followed close behind, pleading for her to stop. As Apollo closed the distance, Daphne, desperate and exhausted, cried out to her father, the river god Peneus, for help. In a moment of divine intervention, her plea was answered. Just as Apollo reached out to grasp her, Daphne's body began to transform. Her skin turned to bark, her hair to leaves, and her arms to branches. Before Apollo's eyes, Daphne became a laurel tree, her transformation complete. Heartbroken, Apollo embraced the tree, declaring that though Daphne could not be his bride, she would forever be his sacred symbol. He vowed to wear a crown of laurel leaves in her honor, and from that day forward, the laurel became a symbol of Apollo's divine arts, music, poetry, and prophecy. This tragic tale of unrequited love reveals a different side of Apollo, one marked by vulnerability and longing. It also highlights the power of transformation, both literal and symbolic. The laurel tree, born from Daphne's sacrifice, became a lasting emblem of Apollo's connection to creativity and inspiration, a reminder that even in loss, beauty and meaning can emerge. As we leave the story of Apollo and Daphne behind, we move to another chapter in Apollo's life, one that showcases his role as the leader of the Muses and his profound influence on the arts. This next story will explore how Apollo's divine inspiration shaped the creative spirit of gods and mortals alike. Now, as we step into the realm of creativity and inspiration, we find Apollo in a role that highlights his profound influence on the arts. This is the story of Apollo and the Muses, a tale that reveals how the god of light became the ultimate patron of music, poetry, and artistic expression. Apollo, often referred to as Musagetes, meaning leader of the Muses, was deeply connected to these 9 divine sisters who presided over the arts and sciences. Each muse had her own domain: Calliope for epic poetry, Clio for history, Eroto for love poetry, and so on. Together, they embodied the full spectrum of human creativity, and Apollo, with his lyre in hand, stood as their guiding force. It was said that Apollo's music had the power to soothe even the most troubled hearts. When he played his lyre, the world seemed to pause, captivated by the harmony of his melodies. The Muses, inspired by his divine artistry, would join him in song and dance, creating an atmosphere of unparalleled beauty and inspiration. This celestial collaboration between Apollo and the Muses became a source of creative energy that flowed not only among the gods but also to mortals below. For the ancient Greeks, Apollo's connection to the Muses was more than just a myth. It was a reminder of the divine origins of creativity. Poets, musicians, and artists would often invoke Apollo and the Muses before beginning their work, seeking their blessing to channel the same divine spark that animated the heavens. Temples dedicated to Apollo often featured spaces for artistic performances, where mortals could experience the transformative power of music and poetry firsthand. But Apollo's influence went beyond mere inspiration. He was also a teacher, guiding mortals in the arts and helping them refine their craft. Legends tell of how Apollo mentored Orpheus, the greatest musician of all, whose music could charm even the stones and rivers. Through such figures, Apollo's legacy as a god of the arts was passed down through generations, shaping the cultural identity of ancient Greece. This story of Apollo and the Muses reminds us that creativity is a divine gift, one that connects us to something greater than ourselves. Whether through music, poetry, or any other form of art, Apollo's influence continues to inspire us to seek beauty, express ourselves, and celebrate the boundless potential of the human spirit. As we leave the harmonious world of Apollo and the Muses, we prepare to delve into a tale of rivalry and consequence, a story that pits Apollo against a mortal who dared to challenge his divine artistry. This next chapter will explore the fateful contest between Apollo and Marsyas, a satyr whose hubris led to a tragic end. Now, as we shift our focus from harmony to hubris, we enter a tale of rivalry and divine retribution. This is the story of Apollo and Marsyas, a cautionary myth that underscores the dangers of overstepping one's bounds in the face of the gods. Marsyas, a satyr known for his skill with the flute, had come across an instrument discarded by Athena herself. The flute, crafted from the bones of a stag, was said to produce enchanting melodies, and Marsyas quickly mastered its use. Proud of his newfound talent, he began to boast that his music rivaled even that of Apollo, the god of music and the arts. Such claims did not go unnoticed. Apollo, ever vigilant in protecting his divine domain, challenged Marsyas to a musical contest. The terms were clear: the winner would decide the fate of the loser. Marsyas, blinded by his arrogance, accepted the challenge without hesitation. The contest was held before an audience of gods and mortals, each eager to witness this clash of mortal ambition and divine artistry. Apollo played his lyre with unmatched grace, his melodies weaving tales of love, loss, and the eternal beauty of the cosmos. Marsyas, on the other hand, played his flute with skill and passion, but his music lacked the depth and divine resonance of Apollo's. As the contest progressed, Apollo introduced a twist to ensure his victory. He turned his lyre upside down and played it just as flawlessly, challenging Marsyas to do the same with his flute. The satyr, unable to replicate the feat, was forced to concede defeat. The consequences of Marsyas's hubris were severe. Apollo, as the victor, decreed that the satyr would be flayed alive for his audacity. The punishment was carried out, and Marsyas's skin was hung in a cave as a grim reminder of the price of challenging a god. This story serves as a powerful lesson about the dangers of pride and the consequences of defying the divine order. Marsyas's fate was not just a punishment but a warning to mortals about the limits of human ambition when pitted against the will of the gods. As we reflect on this tragic tale, we are reminded of the delicate balance between ambition and humility. Apollo's victory was not merely a display of his musical prowess but a reaffirmation of his divine authority. And so we leave the story of Marsyas behind, turning now to another chapter in Apollo's multifaceted legacy, a tale of love, betrayal, and the birth of a god. Now, as we step into a tale of love, betrayal, and the birth of a legacy, we find ourselves drawn to the story of Apollo and Coronis. This myth, rich with emotion and divine intervention, reveals the complexities of Apollo's relationships and the origins of one of mythology's most revered figures, Asclepius, the god of healing. Apollo, known for his many loves, fell deeply for Coronis, a mortal woman of extraordinary beauty. Their union was passionate, and for a time they shared a bond that seemed unbreakable. However, Coronis, though beloved by a god, found her heart drawn to another, a mortal man named Ischys. Unaware of Apollo's watchful gaze, she began a secret affair, betraying the trust of the divine. Apollo, ever perceptive, soon discovered Coronis's infidelity. His raven, a loyal messenger, brought him the news, and the god's heart burned with a mix of sorrow and fury. In his anguish, Apollo unleashed his wrath, striking Coronis down with his divine power. But as her life ebbed away, Apollo's grief overwhelmed him. He realized that Coronis was carrying his child, a child who would one day become a symbol of healing and hope. In a desperate act to save the unborn child, Apollo intervened, rescuing the infant from Coronis's lifeless body. He named the child Asclepius and entrusted him to the care of Chiron, the wise centaur known for his knowledge of medicine and healing. Under Chiron's guidance, Asclepius grew to master the art of healing, surpassing even the skills of his mentor. Asclepius's abilities became legendary. He could cure the sick, revive the dead, and bring hope to those who had lost all. His symbol, the rod entwined with a serpent, remains an enduring emblem of medicine and healing to this day. Yet his extraordinary powers also drew the ire of the gods, particularly Zeus, who feared that Asclepius's abilities might upset the natural order of life and death. The story of Apollo and Coronis is one of profound contrasts: love and betrayal, life and death, creation and destruction. It highlights Apollo's dual nature as both a god of healing and a bringer of divine justice. Through this myth, we see the origins of Asclepius, whose legacy continues to inspire the fields of medicine and healing. As we leave this tale behind, we are reminded of the delicate balance between passion and consequence, and the enduring impact of Apollo's choices. Next, we turn to another chapter in Apollo's life, a story of love, tragedy, and the birth of a flower that would forever bear the memory of a lost love. Now, as we move into a tale of love, loss, and the beauty born from tragedy, we find ourselves immersed in the story of Apollo and Hyacinthus. This myth, filled with tender emotion and heartbreaking twists, reveals yet another layer of Apollo's complex relationships and the enduring power of memory. Apollo, the radiant god of light and music, found himself captivated by Hyacinthus, a mortal youth of unparalleled grace and charm. Hyacinthus was not only beloved by Apollo but also admired by many for his athletic prowess and gentle spirit. The two shared a bond that transcended the mortal and divine, spending their days in joyful companionship, whether competing in games or reveling in the beauty of nature. One fateful day, Apollo and Hyacinthus decided to engage in a friendly contest of discus throwing. Apollo, with his divine strength, hurled the discus high into the sky, and Hyacinthus, eager to impress, ran to catch it. But as the discus descended, it struck the young man with a cruel twist of fate. Some say the wind god Zephyrus, jealous of Apollo's affection for Hyacinthus, blew the discus off course, while others attribute the tragedy to mere accident. Regardless, the blow proved fatal, and Hyacinthus fell to the ground, his life slipping away. Apollo, devastated by the loss, cradled Hyacinthus in his arms, his tears mingling with the blood that stained the earth. In his grief, Apollo vowed that Hyacinthus would not be forgotten. From the ground where his beloved's blood had fallen, a beautiful flower sprang forth, the hyacinth. Its delicate petals bore the markings of Apollo's sorrow, a lasting tribute to the youth who had captured his heart. The hyacinth flower became a symbol of both beauty and mourning, a reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of love. To this day, the flower blooms each spring, carrying with it the memory of Hyacinthus and the god who immortalized him. This story of Apollo and Hyacinthus is one of profound tenderness and sorrow, a testament to the ways in which love and loss are intertwined. It also highlights Apollo's capacity for deep emotion, showing that even a god is not immune to the pain of losing someone dear. As we leave this poignant tale behind, we are reminded of the fleeting nature of life and the beauty that can arise from even the deepest sorrows. Next, we turn to another chapter in Apollo's life, a story that intertwines divine power, mortal ambition, and the consequences of challenging the gods. Now, as we shift our focus to one of the most legendary conflicts in ancient mythology, we find Apollo playing a pivotal role in the Trojan War. This epic tale, filled with divine intervention, mortal ambition, and the clash of empires, showcases Apollo's power and influence in ways that shape the course of history. Apollo, known for his many roles as a god of prophecy, healing, and the arts, also wielded immense power in warfare. During the Trojan War, he stood firmly on the side of the Trojans, offering them his divine protection and guidance. His support was not merely symbolic. Apollo actively intervened in the conflict, using his abilities to sway the tide of battle in favor of Troy. One of the most striking examples of Apollo's involvement was his use of plague arrows. When the Greek hero Agamemnon offended Apollo by disrespecting his priest, Chryses, the god unleashed a devastating plague upon the Greek army. The arrows of Apollo rained down, spreading sickness and death among the soldiers, crippling their morale and strength. This act of divine retribution forced Agamemnon to return Chryses' daughter, whom he had taken as a prize, and to make amends to Apollo. The plague serves as a reminder of the god's wrath and the consequences of defying his will. Apollo's influence extended beyond the battlefield. He was a key figure in guiding the Trojan prince Hector, one of the war's greatest heroes. Apollo's prophetic insights and encouragement bolstered Hector's resolve, inspiring him to lead the Trojans with courage and determination. Even in moments of despair, Apollo's presence offered hope and strength to the Trojan forces. Yet Apollo's role in the war was not without complexity. While he supported the Trojans, he also respected the fates and the larger divine order. For instance, he did not prevent the death of Hector, knowing it was destined. This balance between intervention and acceptance highlights Apollo's understanding of the limits of divine power and the inevitability of fate. The Trojan War also reveals Apollo's connection to the themes of justice and retribution. His actions were often driven by a sense of fairness, whether punishing Agamemnon for his arrogance or aiding those who honored him. Through his involvement, Apollo demonstrated that even in the chaos of war, the gods upheld principles of order and morality. As we reflect on Apollo's role in the Trojan War, we see a god who was not only a protector and guide, but also a force of divine justice. His actions shaped the course of the conflict, leaving an indelible mark on the story of Troy and its heroes. With this chapter of Apollo's story behind us, We now turn to another intriguing tale, one that explores the gift of prophecy, the burden of foresight, and the tragic fate of a woman cursed by the very God who blessed her. Now, as we delve into another captivating chapter of Apollo's divine influence, we encounter the tragic tale of Cassandra, a figure whose story intertwines fate, prophecy, and the complexities of divine favor. Cassandra, the daughter of King Priam and Queen Hecuba of Troy, was blessed and cursed by Apollo in a way that would forever shape her destiny. Apollo, ever the god of prophecy, bestowed upon Cassandra the gift of foresight, granting her the ability to see the future with unparalleled clarity. This divine gift was not given lightly. It was a testament to Apollo's favor and his desire to elevate Cassandra above ordinary mortals. However, the story takes a heartbreaking turn when Cassandra, for reasons lost to time, rejected Apollo's romantic advances. Enraged by her refusal, the god could not revoke the gift he had already given, but he added a cruel twist: no one would ever believe her prophecies. This curse transformed Cassandra's gift into a source of endless torment. She could see the future with perfect accuracy, but her warnings fell on deaf ears. Her visions of impending doom, including the fall of Troy and the treachery of the Trojan horse, were dismissed as madness or lies. Even as she pleaded with her people to heed her words, they turned away, leaving her isolated and powerless to prevent the tragedies she foresaw. Cassandra's story is a poignant exploration of the duality of divine gifts. While her foresight was a mark of Apollo's favor, the accompanying curse made it a burden too heavy to bear. Her inability to sway others with her prophecies highlights the tragic irony of her situation. She possessed the truth but was denied the power to act upon it. This tale also sheds light on Apollo's complex nature. While he is often portrayed as a benevolent god of healing and the arts, his actions toward Cassandra reveal a darker, more vengeful side. His curse was not merely a punishment but a reminder of the consequences of defying a god's will. Yet, even in his wrath, Apollo's gift to Cassandra remained intact, a testament to the enduring power of prophecy and the inescapable nature of fate. As we reflect on Cassandra's story, we are reminded of the delicate balance between divine favor and human agency. Her life serves as a cautionary tale about the weight of foresight and the fragility of trust. With this chapter of Apollo's influence behind us, we now turn to another fascinating story, one that reveals his loyalty and humility in an unexpected role, as we explore Apollo's time as a servant to Admetus. Now, shifting our focus to a lesser-known yet deeply intriguing chapter of Apollo's divine journey, we find the god in an unexpected role, not as a ruler or a warrior, but as a humble servant. This is the story of Apollo and the cattle of Admetus, a tale that reveals the god's loyalty, humility, and his willingness to step into the mortal world to fulfill a greater purpose. After being exiled from Olympus for slaying the Cyclops, Apollo found himself in the mortal realm, stripped of his divine privileges. It was during this time that he entered the service of Admetus, the king of Phaerae. Far from resenting his temporary fall from grace, Apollo embraced his new role with remarkable grace and dedication. He became a shepherd, tending to Admetus's cattle with such care that the herds flourished under his watch. But Apollo's service to Admetus went far beyond tending livestock. When Admetus sought to win the hand of Alcestis, the daughter of King Peleus, he faced a seemingly impossible challenge. Peleus, known for his cunning, declared that Admetus could only marry Alcestis if he arrived at her palace in a chariot pulled by a lion and a boar. This task was designed to be insurmountable, a test meant to deter even the bravest of suitors. Here, Apollo's divine ingenuity came into play. Using his powers, he tamed a lion and a boar, yoking them together to pull Admetus's chariot. The sight of such a feat left Peleus in awe, and he had no choice but to grant Admetus his daughter's hand in marriage. Apollo's intervention not only secured Admetus's happiness, but also demonstrated the god's unwavering loyalty to those he served. This story offers a fascinating glimpse into Apollo's character. Despite his divine status, he did not shy away from menial tasks or challenges. His time as a servant to Admetus highlights his humility and his ability to find purpose even in the most unexpected circumstances. Moreover, his willingness to help Admetus win Alcestis underscores his role as a protector and benefactor of mortals, a theme that runs through many of his myths. As we reflect on this tale, we see a different side of Apollo, one that values loyalty, service, and the bonds of friendship. His actions remind us that even the most powerful beings can find meaning in acts of kindness and dedication. With this story of humility and divine intervention behind us, we now turn to another dramatic episode in Apollo's mythos, where his role as a god of justice takes center stage in the tragic tale of the Niobids. Now, as we delve into another chapter of Apollo's divine justice, we encounter a tale of pride, punishment, and profound sorrow, the story of Apollo and the Niobids. This myth serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of hubris, or excessive pride, and Apollo's role as an enforcer of divine order. Niobe, the queen of Thebes, was a woman of great beauty and wealth, blessed with many children. However, her blessings became the source of her downfall. In a moment of arrogance, Niobe boasted that she was superior to the goddess Leto, Apollo's mother, because Leto had only 2 children, Apollo and Artemis, while Niobe had many. This act of hubris did not go unnoticed by the gods. Apollo and Artemis, hearing Niobe's disrespectful words, decided to act. They descended from Olympus to deliver a swift and devastating punishment. Apollo, with his unerring arrows, targeted Niobe's sons, while Artemis aimed at her daughters. One by one, Niobe's children fell, their lives extinguished by the divine siblings' wrath. The once proud queen was left to grieve over the loss of her beloved offspring, her pride shattered along with her family. This tragic tale underscores Apollo's role as a god of justice, ensuring that mortals do not overstep their bounds or challenge the gods. Niobe's punishment serves as a cautionary lesson about the dangers of arrogance and the importance of humility in the face of divine power. Yet, it also reveals the harshness of divine retribution, as Apollo's actions, though justified by the standards of the gods, bring immense suffering to the mortal world. As we reflect on this story, we see Apollo not only as a god of light and healing, but also as a figure of balance and order. His actions, though severe, remind us of the ancient belief that the gods demand respect and that hubris invites destruction. With this somber tale behind us, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's mythos, where his connection to the natural world and his role as a protector of the innocent come to the forefront. Now, as we shift our focus to another chapter of Apollo's divine wrath, we find ourselves in the realm of vengeance and retribution, a tale that highlights the god's fierce loyalty to his loved ones. This is the story of Apollo and the Cyclops, a myth that reveals the lengths to which Apollo would go to avenge the death of his son, Asclepius. Asclepius, the god of healing and Apollo's beloved son, had gained immense fame for his ability to bring the dead back to life. However, this power alarmed Zeus, who feared that Asclepius's actions would disrupt the natural order of life and death. In a moment of divine judgment, Zeus struck Asclepius down with a thunderbolt, ending his life and leaving Apollo heartbroken. But the story doesn't end there. The thunderbolt that killed Asclepius had been crafted by the Cyclops, the one-eyed giants known for their skill in forging powerful weapons for the gods. Consumed by grief and rage, Apollo sought retribution. He turned his anger toward the Cyclops, blaming them for creating the weapon that had taken his son's life. In a fit of divine fury, Apollo descended upon the Cyclops' forge and unleashed his vengeance. The details of his actions vary in different versions of the myth, but one thing is clear: Apollo's wrath was swift and unrelenting. Some accounts suggest he killed the Cyclops responsible, while others claim he blinded them, leaving them to suffer for their role in Asclepius's death. This story not only showcases Apollo's deep love for his son, but also underscores his role as a god who demands justice, even from other divine beings. It's a reminder that Apollo, though often associated with light, healing, and the arts, also possesses a darker, more vengeful side. His actions against the Cyclops reveal the complexity of his character, a god capable of both immense compassion and fierce retribution. As we reflect on this tale, we see how Apollo's grief and anger drive him to uphold his own sense of justice, even when it means challenging the very fabric of divine order. With this story of vengeance behind us, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's mythos, where his cunning and wisdom take center stage in a tale of prophecy and immortality. Now, as we step into the realm of prophecy and the price of divine gifts, we encounter one of Apollo's most intriguing and cautionary tales, the story of the Sibyl of Cumae. This myth not only highlights Apollo's role as the god of prophecy, but also reveals the consequences of bargaining with the divine. The Sibyl of Cumae was a priestess and prophetess, renowned for her ability to foresee the future. Her fame spread far and wide, and her prophecies were sought after by kings and commoners alike. One day, Apollo, captivated by her beauty and wisdom, offered her a gift, a single wish, anything her heart desired. The Sibyl, eager to secure her place in history, asked for immortality. But here's where Apollo's cunning comes into play. He granted her wish, but with a twist that would haunt her forever. While the Sibyl was granted eternal life, Apollo did not grant her eternal youth. Over time, her body aged and withered, but she could not die. She grew smaller and frailer, her voice weakening until it was barely a whisper. Some versions of the myth even describe her as being kept in a jar, her existence reduced to a mere shadow of her former self. The Sibyl's immortality became a curse, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the fine print of divine bargains. This story serves as a powerful lesson about the nature of wishes and the importance of clarity when dealing with the gods. Apollo's clever twist not only underscores his role as a god of prophecy, but also as a deity who demands respect and caution. The Sibyl's fate is a poignant reminder that immortality without youth or vitality is a hollow gift, one that carries its own form of suffering. As we reflect on this tale, we see how Apollo's wisdom and cunning are woven into the fabric of his myths, offering both inspiration and caution. With the Sibyl's story behind us, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's divine legacy, where his connection to music and the arts takes center stage in a tale of creativity and competition. Now, as we shift our focus to the harmonious world of music and invention, we find Apollo at the heart of one of the most enchanting myths in Greek mythology, the creation of the lyre. This story not only showcases Apollo's mastery over the arts, but also reveals how a simple act of ingenuity became a symbol of divine creativity and cultural significance. The tale begins with Hermes, the mischievous messenger god, who, as a newborn, crafted the very first lyre from the shell of a tortoise. Using strings made from the intestines of cattle he had stolen from Apollo's herd, Hermes created an instrument that produced melodies so captivating that even the gods were spellbound. When Apollo discovered the theft, he was furious, but his anger quickly turned to awe when he heard the lyre's enchanting music. Recognizing its beauty, Apollo struck a deal with Hermes, trading his cattle for the lyre and thus becoming its rightful owner. From that moment on, the lyre became inseparable from Apollo's identity. As the god of music, poetry, and the arts, Apollo wielded the lyre with unmatched skill, using its melodies to inspire mortals and gods alike. The instrument became a symbol of harmony, order, and the divine connection between the heavens and the earth. In ancient Greek culture, the lyre was not just a musical tool, but a representation of Apollo's influence over creativity and intellectual pursuits. The lyre's significance extended beyond mythology. It played a central role in Greek education, where learning to play the instrument was considered essential for cultivating a well-rounded mind. Poets and musicians often invoked Apollo as their patron, seeking his blessing to create works of lasting beauty. The lyre's soothing tones were believed to have the power to heal, calm troubled minds, and even bring peace to warring factions. This myth of Apollo and the lyre reminds us of the transformative power of art and the importance of creativity in human life. Through this story, we see how Apollo's divine arts continue to resonate, inspiring generations to find beauty and meaning in the world around them. As we leave the melodies of the lyre behind, we prepare to delve into another chapter of Apollo's legacy, where his role as a healer and protector takes center stage. Now, as we step into the shadowy realm of prophecy and mystery, we encounter one of the lesser-known but deeply fascinating aspects of Apollo's divine influence, the Oracle of Trophonius. Unlike the more famous Oracle of Delphi, the Oracle of Trophonius was shrouded in secrecy and surrounded by rituals so eerie that they struck fear into the hearts of those who sought its wisdom. This oracle, located in the ancient city of Lebedea, was dedicated to Trophonius, a figure whose story is as enigmatic as the oracle itself. Trophonius was said to be a skilled architect and the brother of Agamemnon. Together, they built many grand structures, including the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. However, Trophonius's fate took a dark turn when he and his brother were accused of stealing treasure from the temple. According to legend, Trophonius met a mysterious end, disappearing into the earth, where he was later worshipped as a chthonic deity, a god connected to the underworld. Over time, he became associated with Apollo, and his oracle gained a reputation for delivering cryptic and often unsettling prophecies. The rituals surrounding the Oracle of Trophonius were unlike anything seen in other oracles. Those seeking guidance had to undergo a series of elaborate and intimidating preparations. First, they would purify themselves by bathing in a sacred river and making offerings to the gods. Then they would descend into a dark, narrow cave, believed to be the entrance to the underworld. Inside, they would drink from a spring called the Water of Lethe, which induced forgetfulness, and another called the Water of Mnemosyne, which granted remembrance. These waters symbolized the journey between life and death, a theme central to the oracle's mystique. Once inside the cave, seekers would experience vivid and often terrifying visions, which were interpreted as messages from Trophonius and Apollo. The experience was so intense that it was said to leave visitors permanently changed, often unable to smile or laugh for days afterward. The oracle's prophecies were highly regarded, but the process of obtaining them was not for the faint of heart. It was a place where the boundaries between the mortal world and the divine were blurred, and where Apollo's role as a god of prophecy took on a darker, more mysterious tone. The Oracle of Trophonius serves as a reminder of the many facets of Apollo's influence. While he is often celebrated for his connection to light, music, and healing, this oracle highlights his ties to the unknown and the unseen. It underscores the complexity of his divine nature, showing that even a god associated with clarity and order could also embody the enigmatic and the arcane. As we leave the haunting depths of Trophonius's oracle behind, we prepare to explore another side of Apollo's legacy, where his role as a healer and protector comes to the forefront once more. Now, as we shift our focus from the shadowy depths of prophecy to the light of restoration and health, we find Apollo in one of his most revered roles, the god of healing. While Apollo is often celebrated for his mastery of music, poetry, and prophecy, his connection to the healing arts is equally profound and far-reaching. Across the ancient world, Apollo was worshipped as a divine healer, and his sanctuaries became centers of medical knowledge and spiritual renewal. One of the most famous sites dedicated to Apollo's healing powers was the sanctuary at Epidaurus. This sacred place was not just a temple but a sprawling complex where the sick and ailing would come seeking cures. The sanctuary was home to the Asclepieion, a healing center named after Apollo's son, Asclepius, who inherited his father's gift for medicine. Here, patients would undergo a process known as incubation, where they would sleep in the temple, hoping to receive divine guidance or healing through dreams sent by Apollo or Asclepius. These dreams were interpreted by priests who would then prescribe treatments ranging from herbal remedies to therapeutic exercises. Apollo's influence on ancient medicine extended beyond the spiritual. He was seen as the source of medical knowledge, and his sanctuaries often doubled as schools for physicians. The Hippocratic Oath, one of the earliest codes of medical ethics, even begins with an invocation to Apollo, highlighting his central role in the practice of healing. Physicians of the time believed that Apollo's blessings were essential for their work, and they often sought his guidance through prayers and offerings. The healing rituals associated with Apollo were deeply intertwined with his other divine attributes. Music, for instance, played a significant role in his sanctuaries. It was believed that harmonious melodies could restore balance to the body and mind, a concept that resonates with modern understandings of music therapy. Similarly, the laurel tree, sacred to Apollo, was used in healing practices, with its leaves often burned as incense to purify the air and ward off illness. Apollo's sanctuaries were also places of innovation. The temple at Delphi, for example, housed a sacred spring whose waters were believed to have healing properties. Pilgrims would travel great distances to drink from it, hoping to cure ailments or cleanse themselves of impurities. These practices reflect the ancient belief in the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual realms, with Apollo serving as a bridge between the two. As we explore Apollo's role as a healer, it becomes clear that his influence was not limited to the divine. His sanctuaries were hubs of knowledge and progress, where the boundaries between medicine, spirituality, and art blurred. This multifaceted approach to healing underscores Apollo's enduring legacy as a god who not only cured the body but also nurtured the soul. With this understanding of his healing arts, we now turn to another aspect of Apollo's divine influence, his daily journey across the sky as the god of the sun. Now, as we move from the healing sanctuaries to the vast expanse of the heavens, we find Apollo in one of his most iconic roles, the god of the sun. Each day, Apollo was believed to drive his golden sun chariot across the sky, bringing light and warmth to the world below. This daily journey was not just a myth but a powerful symbol of life, renewal, and divine order. The sun chariot, drawn by 4 fiery horses, represented Apollo's mastery over the celestial realm. According to ancient tales, the horses were named Pyrrha, Eos, Ethon, and Phlegon, each embodying the blazing energy of the sun. As Apollo guided the chariot from east to west, his radiant presence illuminated the earth, marking the passage of time and the rhythm of the seasons. This daily cycle was seen as a reflection of Apollo's divine power and his role as a bringer of harmony and balance. The symbolism of the sun chariot extended beyond its physical journey. It was a metaphor for enlightenment and clarity, as Apollo's light dispelled darkness and ignorance. In many ways, the chariot's path mirrored the human quest for knowledge and understanding, with Apollo serving as a guiding force. The ancient Greeks saw the sun not just as a celestial body, but as a source of life and inspiration, deeply connected to Apollo's other domains of music, prophecy, and healing. Interestingly, Apollo's association with the sun also highlighted his dual nature. While he was a god of light and order, he was also capable of great intensity and destruction. The scorching heat of the sun could parch the land, just as Apollo's arrows could bring plague and devastation. This duality underscored the complexity of his character, reminding mortals of the delicate balance between creation and destruction, life and death. The imagery of the sun chariot has endured through the ages, influencing art, literature, and even modern interpretations of mythology. From ancient pottery depicting Apollo's radiant journey to Renaissance paintings capturing the splendor of the sun god, the chariot remains a timeless symbol of divine power and cosmic order. It serves as a reminder of Apollo's enduring presence in both the heavens and the hearts of those who look to the sky for inspiration. As we reflect on Apollo's role as the sun god, we see how his daily journey across the sky connects the divine and the mortal, the celestial and the earthly. It's a story that transcends time, inviting us to consider the profound ways in which light and life are intertwined. And with this understanding, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's divine legacy, his guidance of the Argonauts on their legendary quest. As we shift our gaze from the heavens to the seas, we find Apollo stepping into another legendary tale, his role in the epic journey of the Argonauts. This story, filled with adventure and divine intervention, showcases Apollo not just as a celestial guide but as a protector of heroes on their perilous quests. The Argonauts, led by the brave Jason, set out to retrieve the Golden Fleece, a symbol of kingship and authority. Their journey was fraught with danger, from treacherous waters to mythical creatures, and it was here that Apollo's influence became crucial. As the god of prophecy and light, Apollo provided guidance to the Argonauts, often through his oracles and sacred sites scattered along their route. One such site was the Oracle of Delphi, where Apollo's priestess, the Pythia, offered cryptic but invaluable advice to Jason and his crew, steering them toward their destiny. But Apollo's role went beyond mere prophecy. He was also a protector, shielding the Argonauts from harm as they navigated the unknown. In one particularly harrowing moment, the Argonauts faced the clashing rocks, massive boulders that crushed any ship daring to pass between them. It was Apollo's divine intervention that allowed the heroes to navigate this deadly passage safely. Some versions of the myth even suggest that Apollo's sacred bird, the raven, guided the ship through the narrow strait, ensuring their survival. Apollo's connection to the Argonauts also extended to his role as a god of healing. When the crew faced injuries or illnesses during their journey, they often sought refuge at sanctuaries dedicated to Apollo, where his healing powers could restore their strength. This dual role of guide and healer underscored Apollo's multifaceted nature, blending his divine arts to aid mortals in their most desperate hours. The story of the Argonauts also highlights Apollo's ability to inspire courage and unity among mortals. His presence, whether through oracles, omens, or direct intervention, reminded the heroes of their divine purpose and the importance of perseverance. This theme of divine guidance resonates throughout Greek mythology, illustrating how the gods often played an active role in shaping the fates of mortals. As we reflect on Apollo's involvement in the Argonauts' journey, we see how his divine arts, prophecy, protection, and healing were not just abstract concepts but tangible forces that shaped the course of human history. The Argonauts' quest, marked by both triumph and tragedy, serves as a testament to Apollo's enduring influence and his commitment to guiding those who seek greatness. With this tale of heroism and divine aid fresh in our minds, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's legacy, his connection to the afterlife and his role in guiding souls to the Elysian fields. Now, as we journey from the mortal realm to the mysteries of the afterlife, we uncover Apollo's lesser-known yet profound connection to the Elysian fields. This sacred paradise, reserved for the virtuous and heroic, was a place of eternal peace and bliss, and Apollo played a subtle but significant role in guiding souls to this divine destination. In Greek mythology, the Elysian fields were not just a reward for the righteous, but also a reflection of Apollo's influence over life, death, and rebirth. As a god associated with light, prophecy, and healing, Apollo's presence extended beyond the living world. He was often seen as a bridge between the mortal and the divine, helping souls transition from earthly existence to their final resting place. This role was particularly evident in his association with the sun, which symbolized the cycle of life, rising each day to bring light and setting each night to usher in darkness only to rise again. Apollo's guidance to the Elysian fields was not direct but rather woven into the fabric of his divine arts. Through his oracles, he offered mortals insights into their fates, often hinting at the rewards that awaited them in the afterlife if they lived virtuously. For instance, heroes who sought Apollo's favor during their lives were believed to receive his blessing in death, ensuring their passage to the Elysian fields. This connection reinforced the idea that Apollo was not just a god of the present but also a guardian of the eternal. One of the most poignant examples of Apollo's role in the afterlife can be found in the story of Orpheus, the legendary musician and devotee of Apollo. After Orpheus's tragic death, it was said that Apollo ensured his soul found peace in the Elysian fields, honoring his devotion and artistry. This act highlighted Apollo's compassion and his commitment to rewarding those who embodied the virtues he cherished: courage, creativity, and piety. The Elysian fields themselves were often depicted as a place of endless sunlight, echoing Apollo's association with the sun. Here, the souls of the blessed enjoyed an idyllic existence, free from suffering and filled with joy. Apollo's light, both literal and metaphorical, was believed to illuminate this paradise, offering solace and comfort to those who had earned their place within it. As we explore Apollo's connection to the Elysian fields, we see how his divine influence extended far beyond the mortal world. His role as a guide to the afterlife underscores his multifaceted nature, blending his powers of prophecy, healing, and light to offer hope and redemption to those who sought his favor. This aspect of Apollo's mythology reminds us that his divine arts were not confined to the living, but also shaped the destiny of souls in the hereafter. With this glimpse into Apollo's role in the afterlife, we now turn to another fascinating chapter in his story: his involvement in the founding of Troy, where his divine guidance would shape the fate of an entire city. Now, shifting our focus from the ethereal realms of the afterlife to the earthly foundations of one of history's most legendary cities, we delve into Apollo's pivotal role in the founding of Troy. This ancient city, immortalized in epic tales and mythic battles, owes its origins in part to the divine intervention of Apollo, who played a crucial role in its creation and early destiny. The story begins with King Laomedon, the ambitious ruler of the region that would later become Troy. Seeking to build a city that would stand as a testament to his power and legacy, Laomedon called upon the gods for assistance. Apollo, along with his brother Poseidon, answered the call, offering their divine skills to help construct the city's mighty walls. Apollo, known for his mastery of music and harmony, contributed his talents to ensure the city's foundations were not only strong but also imbued with a sense of divine order and beauty. However, the partnership between the gods and Laomedon was not without its challenges. After the walls were completed, Laomedon refused to honor his promise to reward Apollo and Poseidon for their labor. This act of betrayal angered the gods, and Apollo, in particular, responded by sending a plague to punish the king and his people. This divine retribution underscored Apollo's dual nature as both a benevolent guide and a stern enforcer of justice. Despite this conflict, Apollo's influence on Troy endured. The city's walls, built with his divine assistance, became a symbol of its strength and resilience, standing firm against countless challenges throughout its storied history. Apollo's connection to Troy also extended to its people, as he was revered as a protector and guide, offering prophecies and blessings to those who sought his favor. One of the most significant examples of Apollo's ongoing relationship with Troy can be seen in the story of Cassandra, the Trojan princess gifted with the power of prophecy by Apollo. Though her tragic curse prevented her predictions from being believed, her connection to the god highlighted Apollo's enduring presence in the city's fate. Through Cassandra, Apollo's voice echoed in the halls of Troy, warning of the trials to come and shaping the city's destiny in ways both seen and unseen. As we reflect on Apollo's role in the founding of Troy, we see how his divine arts, whether in building, healing, or prophecy, left an indelible mark on the city's legacy. His involvement not only shaped its physical foundations but also its spiritual and cultural identity, making Troy a living testament to the power and complexity of Apollo's influence. With the story of Troy's founding now behind us, we turn our attention to another chapter in Apollo's mythic journey, his role in the plague of Thebes, where his divine wrath would once again shape the course of human events. Now, as we move from the towering walls of Troy to the troubled streets of Thebes, we uncover a darker chapter in Apollo's divine interventions, a tale of justice, retribution, and the consequences of human arrogance. This story takes us to the ancient city of Thebes, where Apollo's wrath would descend in the form of a devastating plague, punishing King Laius for his grave misdeeds. The trouble began with King Laius, whose actions would set the stage for one of the most tragic episodes in Greek mythology. Laius, known for his ambition and pride, committed a heinous crime that would anger the gods. He abducted and violated Chrysippus, the young son of King Pelops, an act that not only defied moral law but also violated the sacred hospitality expected of a ruler. This transgression did not go unnoticed by Apollo, who, as a god of justice and order, could not let such an offense go unpunished. In response, Apollo sent a plague to Thebes, a merciless affliction that ravaged the city's people, livestock, and crops. The once thriving city was plunged into despair, with its citizens crying out for relief from the suffering. The plague served as a stark reminder of the gods' power and their demand for accountability, even from those who sat on thrones. Apollo's role in this punishment highlighted his dual nature. He was not only a healer and protector, but also a stern enforcer of divine law. The plague also set the stage for the unfolding of one of the most famous myths in Greek mythology, the story of Oedipus. As the people of Thebes sought answers, they turned to the oracle of Delphi, Apollo's sacred sanctuary, for guidance. The oracle revealed that the plague would only end when the murderer of Laius was brought to justice. This prophecy would lead to a series of tragic events as Oedipus, unaware of his own identity, sought to uncover the truth, ultimately fulfilling the very fate he sought to avoid. Apollo's involvement in the plague of Thebes underscores his role as a god who upholds justice, even when it brings suffering. His actions were not arbitrary but rooted in the need to restore balance and order, ensuring that no one, not even a king, could escape the consequences of their actions. The plague, while devastating, served as a divine mechanism to correct the moral failings of Laius and to remind humanity of the sacred laws that governed their lives. As we reflect on this story, we see how Apollo's divine arts extended beyond music and healing to include the enforcement of justice. His role in the plague of Thebes reveals the complexity of his character, a god who could bring both life and death, blessing and punishment, depending on the actions of mortals. This tale serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of human choices and divine will, a theme that resonates throughout Apollo's many myths. With the echoes of Thebes' suffering still lingering, we now turn to another story that showcases Apollo's influence, this time through his love for the nymph Siren and the legacy they would create together. Now, as we leave the somber streets of Thebes behind, we journey to a tale of love, transformation, and legacy, a story that reveals yet another facet of Apollo's divine influence. This time, we find ourselves in the lush, untamed wilderness of Thessaly, where Apollo's gaze fell upon a remarkable nymph named Siren. Known for her extraordinary strength and independence, Siren was no ordinary nymph. She was a huntress, fearless and bold, who roamed the forests with the confidence of a warrior. It was during one of her hunts that Apollo first saw her, wrestling a lion barehanded, and he was instantly captivated by her courage and beauty. Apollo, ever the god of light and inspiration, approached Siren and, struck by her spirit, decided to make her his own. But this was no ordinary courtship. Apollo, recognizing her strength and independence, did not seek to dominate or control her. Instead, he offered her a new destiny, one that would elevate her from a nymph of the wild to a queen of her own realm. With his divine power, Apollo transported Siren to the fertile lands of North Africa, where he founded a city in her honor, naming it Siren. There, she became a queen, ruling over her people with the same strength and wisdom she had shown in the wilderness. Their union was not only one of love but also of purpose. Together, Apollo and Siren had a son named Aristeus, who would grow up to become a figure of great importance in Greek mythology. Aristeus inherited his father's connection to the natural world and his mother's resilience, becoming a protector of shepherds, beekeepers, and olive growers. He was revered as a god of rural arts and agriculture, embodying the harmony between humanity and nature that his parents represented. Through Aristeus, the legacy of Apollo and Siren lived on, influencing the lives of countless mortals who depended on the land for their survival. This story of Apollo and Siren is a testament to the god's ability to inspire and elevate those he loves. It also highlights the transformative power of divine favor, as Siren's life was forever changed by Apollo's intervention. Yet, it is not just a tale of romance and elevation, it is also a story of partnership. Apollo respected Siren's strength and independence, and together they created something enduring. Their son Aristeus became a symbol of the balance between the wild and the cultivated, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life. As we reflect on this myth, we see how Apollo's divine arts extended beyond prophecy and healing to include the nurturing of new beginnings. His love for Siren and their shared legacy through Aristeus reveal a softer, more nurturing side of the god, one that complements his roles as a healer, musician, and enforcer of justice. This tale invites us to consider the ways in which love and partnership can shape destinies, leaving a lasting impact on the world. With the story of Siren and Aristeus still fresh in our minds, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's divine saga, one that takes us to the mysterious oracle of Didyma, where his prophetic powers would once again take center stage. Now, as we step away from the fertile lands of Siren, our journey takes us to the ancient shores of Asia Minor, where the whispers of prophecy echo through the sacred halls of the oracle of Didyma. This sanctuary, one of Apollo's most revered, stood as a beacon of divine wisdom, drawing pilgrims and seekers from across the ancient world. The oracle of Didyma was not just a place of worship, it was a center of power where the god of prophecy made his will known to mortals through the enigmatic words of his priestesses. The origins of the oracle of Didyma are steeped in myth and legend. It is said that Apollo himself chose this site, a place where the earth and sky seemed to meet, as a conduit for his divine voice. The temple, known as the Didymaeon, was a marvel of ancient architecture, rivaling even the grandeur of Delphi. Its towering columns and sprawling courtyards were designed to inspire awe, a physical manifestation of Apollo's majesty. At its heart lay the sacred spring, believed to be a direct link to the god's prophetic power. Here, the priestess, known as the Sibyl, would enter a trance-like state, her words believed to be the very voice of Apollo. The rituals at Didyma were as elaborate as they were mysterious. Pilgrims seeking guidance would first undergo purification rites, cleansing themselves of any impurities before approaching the oracle. Offerings of gold, incense, and precious artifacts were made to Apollo, ensuring his favor. Only then would the Sibyl deliver her prophecies, often in cryptic verses that required interpretation by the temple's priests. These prophecies shaped the decisions of kings, the fates of cities, and the lives of countless individuals, cementing Didyma's reputation as a place where the divine and mortal worlds intersected. But the oracle of Didyma was more than just a site of prophecy. It was a symbol of Apollo's enduring influence over human destiny. The temple's priests were not merely interpreters of the god's will, they were custodians of a sacred tradition that spanned generations. The Sibyls themselves were chosen with great care, their lives dedicated to serving Apollo and maintaining the sanctity of his oracle. Their role was both a privilege and a burden, as they carried the weight of divine messages that could alter the course of history. The significance of Didyma extended beyond its religious functions. It was a hub of cultural and intellectual exchange where scholars, philosophers, and travelers gathered to share knowledge and seek enlightenment. The temple's library housed countless scrolls and texts preserving the wisdom of the ages. In this way, Didyma became not only a sanctuary for Apollo but also a beacon of learning, a testament to the god's connection to the arts and sciences. As we reflect on the oracle of Didyma, we are reminded of Apollo's multifaceted nature. Here, he was not just the god of prophecy but also a guide, a teacher, and a source of inspiration. The stories and rituals of Didyma reveal the profound impact of his divine arts on the ancient world, shaping the lives of those who sought his guidance. And as we prepare to delve into the next chapter of Apollo's divine saga, we carry with us the echoes of Didyma's sacred whispers, a reminder of the enduring power of prophecy and the mysteries that lie at the heart of the divine. Now, as we turn our gaze from the prophetic halls of Didyma, we find ourselves drawn to the legendary quest for the Golden Fleece, a tale where Apollo's divine presence, though subtle, played a pivotal role. The story of the Golden Fleece is one of adventure, heroism, and divine intervention. And while Apollo may not have been at the forefront of this epic journey, his influence was woven into its very fabric. The quest for the Golden Fleece, led by the hero Jason and his band of Argonauts, was a monumental undertaking. It was a journey fraught with danger, requiring not only physical strength but also the favor of the gods. Apollo, as the god of prophecy and guidance, indirectly shaped the course of this expedition. Before setting sail, Jason sought the blessing of the gods, and it was Apollo's oracle at Delphi that provided crucial advice. The oracle's cryptic words guided Jason to assemble a crew of the greatest heroes of his time, ensuring that the Argonauts were well prepared for the trials ahead. As the Argonauts embarked on their voyage, Apollo's protection was ever present. His connection to the sun and light served as a beacon, guiding their ship, the Argo, through treacherous waters. The god's influence was also felt in the form of his son, Orpheus, who was among the Argonauts. Orpheus, gifted with unparalleled musical talent, used his lyre, a symbol of Apollo's divine arts, to calm storms, soothe tempers, and even charm mythical creatures that stood in their path. In this way, Apollo's legacy as a god of music and harmony became a source of strength for the crew. One of the most critical moments of the journey occurred when the Argonauts faced the clashing rocks, a perilous passage where massive boulders would crash together, crushing any ship that dared to pass. It was Apollo's wisdom, channeled through the advice of the sea god Phineus, that enabled the Argonauts to navigate this deadly obstacle. By releasing a dove to time the rock's movements, they were able to sail through safely, a strategy that echoed Apollo's role as a god of foresight and strategy. Apollo's influence extended even to the final stages of the quest. When Jason arrived in Colchis to claim the Golden Fleece, he faced the wrath of King Aedes and the challenge of harnessing fire, breathing bulls, and sowing dragons' teeth. It was Medea, a priestess of Hecate and a figure deeply connected to the divine, who aided Jason. While Medea's allegiance was to Hecate, her actions were indirectly tied to Apollo's realm of prophecy and magic, further highlighting the god's subtle yet significant role in the quest's success. The story of the Golden Fleece is a testament to Apollo's multifaceted influence. Though he did not directly intervene, his guidance, protection, and the talents of those connected to him were instrumental in the Argonauts' triumph. This tale reminds us that Apollo's divine arts were not confined to grand displays of power but often manifested in quiet, yet profound ways. As we prepare to explore the next chapter of Apollo's divine legacy, we carry with us the understanding that even in the shadows, the god's presence was a force to be reckoned with. Now, as we shift our focus from the high seas and heroic quests, let us step onto the sacred shores of Delos, the birthplace of Apollo, to explore the vibrant and deeply spiritual festival of Delia. This festival, held in honor of Apollo, was one of the most significant celebrations in ancient Greece, drawing pilgrims, musicians, and athletes from far and wide to pay homage to the god of light, music, and prophecy. The origins of the Delia festival are rooted in the very myth of Apollo's birth. According to legend, Delos, a small and once floating island, became a fixed and sacred place when Leto, Apollo's mother, sought refuge there to give birth to her divine children, Apollo and Artemis. To honor this momentous event, the people of Delos established the Delia festival, a grand celebration that not only commemorated Apollo's birth but also reinforced the island's status as a holy sanctuary. The Delia festival was held every 4 years, making it a major event in the ancient Greek calendar. It was a time of unity and reverence, bringing together city-states and individuals from across the Greek world. The festival began with a grand procession where participants carried offerings and sacred objects to Apollo's temple. These offerings often included laurel wreaths, symbolic of Apollo's connection to the laurel tree, as well as musical instruments, reflecting his role as the god of music and the arts. Music and poetry were central to the Delia festival, with competitions held to honor Apollo's divine arts. Musicians, poets, and singers would gather to showcase their talents, performing hymns and songs dedicated to the god. These performances were not merely entertainment but acts of devotion, believed to please Apollo and invoke his blessings. The lyre, Apollo's sacred instrument, featured prominently in these competitions, its melodies echoing through the sacred precincts of Delos. Athletic contests were also a key component of the festival, reflecting Apollo's association with physical excellence and harmony. Competitors would participate in events such as foot races, wrestling, and chariot races, striving to achieve glory in the name of the god. These games were more than displays of strength and skill. They were expressions of piety, as victory was seen as a sign of Apollo's favor. One of the most unique aspects of the Delia festival was its emphasis on purity and ritual cleanliness. Participants were required to undergo purification rites before entering the sacred space of Delos, ensuring that the island remained untainted by impurity. This practice underscored the sanctity of Apollo's birthplace and the deep respect the ancient Greeks held for their gods. The festival also included dramatic performances and reenactments of myths associated with Apollo, bringing his stories to life for the gathered audience. These performances served as both entertainment and education, reinforcing the cultural and religious significance of Apollo's divine arts. As the festival drew to a close, a grand sacrifice was made to Apollo, often involving the offering of animals such as goats or bulls. The smoke from the sacrificial fire was believed to carry the prayers and praises of the people to the heavens, ensuring Apollo's continued protection and favor. The Delia festival was more than a celebration. It was a profound expression of devotion to Apollo, a reminder of his enduring presence in the lives of the ancient Greeks. Through music, athleticism, and ritual, the festival brought people together in a shared experience of reverence and joy, honoring the god who brought light, harmony, and inspiration to the world. As we move forward, we'll uncover yet another facet of Apollo's divine legacy, one that continues to illuminate the rich tapestry of ancient mythology. Now, as we leave the sacred shores of Delos and its vibrant Delia festival, let us journey to the heart of ancient Greece, where another grand celebration of Apollo's divine arts unfolds: the Pythian Games. These games, second only to the Olympic Games in prestige, were held in Delphi, the very site where Apollo established his oracle after slaying the Python. The Pythian Games were not just a display of physical prowess, but a profound celebration of Apollo's influence over music, poetry, and the harmony of body and spirit. The origins of the Pythian Games are deeply intertwined with Apollo's mythic victory over the Python. After defeating the serpent, Apollo sought to cleanse the land of its lingering influence and establish a sanctuary where mortals could seek his guidance. To commemorate this triumph, the Pythian Games were instituted, initially as a musical competition dedicated to Apollo's role as the god of music and the arts. Over time, the games expanded to include athletic contests, becoming a quadrennial event that drew participants and spectators from across the Greek world. The Pythian Games were held every 4 years in the third year of each Olympiad and were a cornerstone of ancient Greek culture. The festival began with a grand procession to the temple of Apollo at Delphi, where offerings were made to the god. These offerings often included laurel wreaths, a symbol of Apollo's connection to the laurel tree, as well as musical instruments and other tokens of artistic devotion. The laurel wreath also served as the prize for victors, a testament to Apollo's enduring legacy. Music and poetry remained central to the Pythian Games, reflecting Apollo's divine arts. Competitions in lyre playing, singing, and recitation of epic poetry were held, with participants vying for the honor of being crowned by Apollo himself. These performances were not merely artistic displays but acts of worship, believed to invoke the god's favor and blessings. The lyre, Apollo's sacred instrument, was a focal point of these contests, its melodies echoing through the sacred valley of Delphi. Athletic competitions were equally significant, showcasing the physical excellence that Apollo embodied. Events such as foot races, wrestling, and chariot races were held, with athletes striving to achieve glory in the name of the god. These contests were more than tests of strength and skill. They were expressions of piety, as victory was seen as a sign of Apollo's approval. The harmony of body and spirit, a core tenet of Apollo's teachings, was celebrated through these games. One of the most unique aspects of the Pythian Games was their emphasis on balance and moderation, values central to Apollo's divine philosophy. Unlike the purely athletic focus of the Olympic Games, the Pythian Games integrated artistic and intellectual pursuits, creating a holistic celebration of human potential. This balance made the Games a symbol of Apollo's multifaceted influence, bridging the realms of art, intellect, and physical achievement. The Pythian Games also served as a unifying force in the ancient Greek world, bringing together city-states and individuals in a shared celebration of Apollo's divine arts. The Games fostered a sense of cultural identity and pride, reinforcing the bonds between communities and honoring the god who brought light, harmony, and inspiration to their lives. As the festival concluded, a grand sacrifice was made to Apollo, often involving the offering of animals such as goats or bulls. The smoke from the sacrificial fire was believed to carry the prayers and praises of the people to the heavens, ensuring Apollo's continued protection and favor. The Pythian Games were more than a competition. They were a profound expression of devotion to Apollo, a reminder of his enduring presence in the lives of the ancient Greeks. Through music, athleticism, and ritual, the Games brought people together in a shared experience of reverence and joy, honoring the god who embodied the harmony of body, mind, and spirit. As we continue our exploration of Apollo's divine legacy, we'll uncover yet another chapter in the rich tapestry of ancient mythology, one that continues to illuminate the enduring influence of this remarkable god. Now, as we step away from the grandeur of the Pythian Games, let us turn our attention to a quieter yet equally profound aspect of Apollo's divine influence, his connection to healing springs. These sacred waters, scattered across the ancient world, were believed to hold miraculous powers, offering both physical and spiritual renewal to those who sought their aid. Apollo, as a god of healing, was deeply intertwined with these springs, which became centers of worship and therapeutic practices. The healing springs associated with Apollo were often found in serene, natural settings, tucked away in lush valleys, nestled at the base of mountains, or hidden within sacred groves. These locations were chosen not only for their beauty but also for their perceived connection to the divine. The waters were thought to be gifts from Apollo himself, imbued with his healing energy and capable of curing ailments that baffled even the most skilled physicians of the time. One of the most famous healing springs linked to Apollo was located at the sanctuary of Delphi. Here, the Castalian spring served as a place of purification for pilgrims and priests alike. Before consulting the oracle of Delphi, visitors would cleanse themselves in its waters, believing that the spring would wash away impurities and prepare them to receive Apollo's divine wisdom. The Castalian spring was more than a physical cleansing site. It was a spiritual gateway, a place where mortals could connect with the god's healing presence. Another notable example was the thermal springs at Thermopylae, where Apollo was worshipped alongside his sister Artemis. These hot springs were renowned for their therapeutic properties, particularly for treating joint pain and skin conditions. Ancient Greeks would travel great distances to bathe in these waters, offering prayers and sacrifices to Apollo in hopes of receiving his blessings. The springs were seen as a direct manifestation of Apollo's power, a reminder of his ability to bring relief and restoration to the suffering. The rituals surrounding these healing springs were as important as the waters themselves. Visitors would often make offerings of flowers, coins, or small tokens of gratitude before entering the springs. Priests would conduct ceremonies invoking Apollo's name and asking for his favor. These rituals were not mere formalities. They were acts of devotion, a way for individuals to express their faith in the god's healing abilities. The therapeutic practices at these springs were surprisingly advanced for their time. Ancient physicians, known as iatroi, would often prescribe visits to specific springs as part of their treatments. They believed that the combination of the water's natural properties and Apollo's divine influence could accelerate healing. Some springs were thought to have unique qualities. Some were said to cure blindness, while others were believed to alleviate fevers or soothe troubled minds. These beliefs were supported by countless stories of miraculous recoveries, further solidifying the spring's reputation as places of divine intervention. Apollo's association with healing springs also extended to his role as a protector of health. Many of these sites were home to sanctuaries dedicated to the god, where people could seek both physical and spiritual healing. These sanctuaries often included temples, altars, and even small hospitals where the sick could rest and recover under the watchful eye of Apollo's priests. The god's presence was felt in every aspect of these places, from the soothing waters to the prayers whispered in his name. The legacy of Apollo's healing springs endures to this day, with many of these sites still revered for their natural beauty and historical significance. While modern science has provided explanations for the therapeutic properties of these waters, the sense of wonder and reverence they inspire remains unchanged. They stand as a testament to Apollo's enduring influence, a reminder of his role as a healer and protector in the ancient world. As we continue our journey through the many facets of Apollo's divine arts, we'll uncover yet another layer of his remarkable legacy, one that reveals the profound connection between the god and the natural world. From the sacred springs to the heights of Mount Parnassus, Apollo's presence continues to inspire awe and reverence, bridging the gap between the mortal and the divine. Now, as we leave the tranquil healing springs behind, let us journey to the ancient city of Claros, where another of Apollo's sacred oracles once thrived. While the Oracle of Delphi often steals the spotlight, the Oracle of Claros held its own unique place in the tapestry of Apollo's divine arts. Nestled near the coast of Ionia, in what is now modern-day Turkey, this lesser-known oracle was a beacon of prophecy and spiritual insight, drawing seekers from far and wide. The Oracle of Claros was renowned for its mysterious and elaborate rituals, which set it apart from other oracular sites. Unlike Delphi, where the Pythia delivered prophecies in a trance-like state, the priests of Claros performed their sacred duties in a more structured manner. The process began with a purification ritual where the supplicant would bathe in the nearby sacred spring, believed to be blessed by Apollo himself. This act of cleansing was essential, as it prepared the individual to receive the god's wisdom without the interference of earthly impurities. Once purified, the supplicant would enter the temple where the chief priest, known as the Spiodos, would interpret Apollo's messages. The rituals often involved the use of water from the sacred spring, which was poured into a special basin. The priest would then gaze into the water, seeking visions or signs from Apollo. These visions were believed to be direct communications from the god, offering guidance on matters ranging from personal dilemmas to state affairs. The prophecies were delivered in poetic form, a testament to Apollo's dual role as the god of prophecy and poetry. The Oracle of Claros was also unique in its emphasis on music and hymns as part of its rituals. Apollo, as the leader of the Muses, was deeply connected to the arts, and this connection was celebrated at Claros. Priests and supplicants would sing hymns in honor of the god, accompanied by the lyre, an instrument sacred to Apollo. These musical offerings were not merely ceremonial. They were believed to enhance the spiritual atmosphere, making it easier for Apollo's presence to manifest and for his messages to be clearly understood. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Oracle of Claros was its role in the broader religious and political landscape of the ancient world. While it may not have been as famous as Delphi, Claros was highly respected, and its prophecies carried significant weight. Cities and rulers would often consult the oracle before making major decisions, seeking Apollo's guidance to ensure success and avoid misfortune. The oracle's influence extended beyond Greece, reaching into Asia Minor and even influencing the policies of neighboring kingdoms. The sanctuary at Claros was also a place of pilgrimage, attracting not only those seeking prophecies but also those who wished to honor Apollo in his role as a healer and protector. The site included a temple, altars, and a sacred grove, all dedicated to the god. Pilgrims would leave offerings of flowers, coins, and small statues, hoping to gain Apollo's favor. The atmosphere at Claros was one of reverence and awe, a place where the divine and mortal worlds seemed to intersect. Despite its importance, the Oracle of Claros eventually faded into obscurity, overshadowed by the rise of Christianity and the decline of ancient pagan practices. However, its legacy endures in the archaeological remains that have been uncovered in recent centuries. These discoveries offer a glimpse into the rituals and beliefs that once made Claros a vital center of Apollo's worship. The site continues to inspire scholars and visitors alike, serving as a reminder of the god's far-reaching influence and the enduring power of his prophetic arts. As we move forward in our exploration of Apollo's divine arts, we'll delve into yet another fascinating aspect of his legacy, one that reveals the intricate ways in which the god's presence was woven into the fabric of ancient life. From the sacred springs to the prophetic oracles, Apollo's influence remains a testament to the profound connection between the divine and the mortal realms. Now, as we turn our attention to the bonds of family and divine lineage, we find ourselves exploring the profound relationship between Apollo and his mother, the Titaness Leto. Leto's story is one of resilience and devotion, and her role in Apollo's life is central to understanding his origins and the challenges he faced from the very beginning. Leto, a daughter of the Titans Coeus and Phoebe, was known for her grace and beauty, but her path was far from easy. When she became pregnant with Apollo and his twin sister Artemis, she faced the wrath of Hera, Zeus's jealous wife. Hera, furious at Zeus's infidelity, forbade Leto from giving birth on any land under the sun. This cruel decree forced Leto to wander the earth in search of a safe haven, enduring hardship and rejection at every turn. Her journey led her to the floating island of Delos, a place that was neither mainland nor anchored to the seafloor. Here, Leto found refuge, and with the help of her sister Asteria, she gave birth to Apollo and Artemis. The birth of Apollo, in particular, was a moment of divine triumph. As the god of light, music, and prophecy, Apollo's arrival marked a turning point in the cosmos, bringing hope and inspiration to the world. Leto's perseverance and strength during this time became a testament to her unwavering love for her children and her determination to protect them against all odds. Leto's significance in Apollo's myths extends far beyond his birth. She is often depicted as a nurturing and protective figure, guiding her son through his early trials and supporting him as he established his place among the gods. One of the most poignant examples of their bond is seen in the story of Apollo's slaying of the python. After Apollo killed the serpent at Delphi, he sought purification for the act, as even gods were bound by certain divine laws. Leto played a crucial role in this process, helping her son navigate the complexities of divine justice and ensuring his rise as a respected and revered deity. Moreover, Leto's influence is evident in Apollo's connection to the arts and healing. As a Titaness associated with motherhood and nurturing, Leto's presence can be felt in Apollo's role as a healer and protector. Her legacy is woven into the sanctuaries and temples dedicated to Apollo, where she is often honored alongside her children. The reverence for Leto in these sacred spaces underscores her importance not only as Apollo's mother, but also as a symbol of maternal strength and divine grace. Leto's story also highlights the interconnectedness of the divine family. Her relationship with Apollo and Artemis reflects the balance of power and affection within the pantheon, showcasing how even the gods relied on the bonds of family to navigate their roles and responsibilities. Through Leto, we see the human-like qualities of love, sacrifice, and resilience that resonate deeply within Apollo's myths, reminding us that even the gods were shaped by the relationships that define them. As we reflect on Leto's enduring influence, we are reminded of the profound ways in which her strength and devotion shaped Apollo's divine journey. Her story is not just one of survival but also of triumph, a testament to the power of a mother's love in the face of adversity. And as we continue to explore Apollo's divine arts, we'll see how this bond with Leto echoes through his many roles, from prophecy to healing and beyond. Now, as we journey from the nurturing embrace of Leto to the sunlit shores of the Aegean, we find ourselves on the island of Rhodes, a place where Apollo's divine presence left an indelible mark. Rhodes, known for its beauty and strategic importance in the ancient world, became a center of worship for Apollo, and its most famous landmark, the Colossus of Rhodes, stands as a testament to his enduring legacy. The story of Apollo's connection to Rhodes begins with the island's mythical origins. According to legend, Rhodes was a gift from Zeus to Helios, the sun god, who was often associated with Apollo. Over time, the two deities became intertwined in the island's culture, with Apollo being honored as a patron god. The people of Rhodes believed that Apollo's light and guidance brought prosperity and protection to their land, and they celebrated him through grand festivals and sacred rituals. One of the most remarkable symbols of Apollo's influence on Rhodes was the Colossus of Rhodes, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. This massive bronze statue, standing over 100 feet tall, was erected in the harbor of Rhodes to commemorate the island's victory over an invading force. While the Colossus is often depicted as straddling the harbor entrance, historical accounts suggest it stood on a pedestal near the port, serving as a beacon of strength and divine favor. The Colossus was not just a monument to human achievement, but also a tribute to Apollo's role as a protector and bringer of light. Its towering presence symbolized the island's resilience and its connection to the divine. For centuries, the statue stood as a reminder of Apollo's blessings, drawing visitors from across the ancient world who marveled at its grandeur and the craftsmanship that brought it to life. However, the Colossus's story took a tragic turn when an earthquake struck Rhodes, toppling the statue and leaving it in ruins. Despite its fall, the Colossus remained a powerful symbol of Apollo's enduring influence. The people of Rhodes continued to honor the god through their art, architecture, and religious practices, ensuring that his legacy lived on even as the physical monument faded into history. Apollo's connection to Rhodes also extended to the island's cultural and spiritual life. The Rhodians believed that Apollo's light illuminated not only their land but also their minds, inspiring creativity, wisdom, and harmony. Temples dedicated to Apollo dotted the island, serving as centers of worship and learning where the god's divine arts were celebrated. As we reflect on Apollo's ties to Rhodes, we see how his presence shaped the island's identity and its place in the ancient world. The Colossus, though no longer standing, remains a powerful symbol of Apollo's role as a guardian and a source of inspiration. And as we move forward in our exploration of Apollo's divine arts, we'll uncover even more stories that reveal the depth of his influence across the ancient world. Now, as we turn our gaze from the sunlit shores of Rhodes, we venture to the ancient city of Patara, a place where Apollo's prophetic voice echoed through the ages. The Oracle of Patara, one of the most revered sanctuaries dedicated to Apollo, held a unique place in the ancient world, drawing seekers of wisdom from far and wide. Patara, located in what is now modern-day Turkey, was not only a bustling port city but also a spiritual hub where Apollo's divine presence was deeply felt. The oracle here was second only to Delphi in its importance, and it was said that Apollo himself spent the winter months in Patara, lending his voice to the prophecies delivered by his priestesses. These priestesses, known as the Sibyls, were believed to channel Apollo's divine wisdom, offering guidance to kings, warriors, and ordinary people alike. The rituals at the Oracle of Patara were steeped in mystery and reverence. Those seeking answers would undergo purification rites before approaching the sacred site, ensuring they were spiritually prepared to receive Apollo's insights. The prophecies were often delivered in cryptic verses, requiring interpretation by skilled priests. This added an air of intrigue and depth to the oracle's pronouncements, making them both awe-inspiring and thought-provoking. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Oracle of Patara was its connection to Apollo's dual role as a god of light and prophecy. The city's location, bathed in the golden glow of the Mediterranean sun, was seen as a reflection of Apollo's radiant presence. The oracle's prophecies were believed to illuminate the path forward, much like the sun dispels darkness, offering clarity and hope to those who sought its counsel. The influence of the Oracle of Patara extended beyond its immediate region. Leaders and adventurers from across the ancient world made pilgrimages to this sacred site, seeking Apollo's guidance for matters of war, governance, and personal destiny. Its reputation for accuracy and wisdom cemented its place as a cornerstone of Apollo's divine arts, showcasing his ability to bridge the mortal and divine realms. Though the Oracle of Patara no longer stands today, its legacy endures in the stories and traditions that have been passed down through generations. It serves as a reminder of Apollo's profound impact on the ancient world, not only as a god of prophecy but also as a beacon of light and enlightenment. As we continue our journey through Apollo's divine arts, we'll uncover even more sanctuaries and stories that reveal the breadth of his influence. Each tale adds another layer to our understanding of this multifaceted god, whose presence shaped the lives and destinies of countless individuals in the ancient world. Now, as we shift our focus from the prophetic sanctuaries of Apollo, we turn to a story that intertwines divine lineage with the art of healing. Apollo, the god of light and prophecy, also held a profound connection to the healing arts, a legacy that was carried forward by his son, Asclepius, the god of medicine and healing. This tale not only highlights Apollo's role as a father, but also reveals the deep bond between the two deities in their shared mission to bring health and restoration to the world. Asclepius's story begins with his birth, a moment steeped in both tragedy and divine intervention. His mother, Coronis, a mortal woman beloved by Apollo, betrayed the god by taking another lover. When Apollo discovered her infidelity, he was overcome with grief and rage, leading to Coronis's untimely death. Yet, even in her final moments, Apollo's compassion shone through. As her body lay on the funeral pyre, Apollo rescued their unborn child, Asclepius, from her womb, entrusting him to the care of the wise centaur Chiron. Under Chiron's guidance, Asclepius grew into a master healer, surpassing even his father's knowledge of medicine. He learned the secrets of herbs, potions, and surgical techniques, becoming a beacon of hope for the sick and wounded. His skill was so extraordinary that he was said to have the power to bring the dead back to life, a feat that drew the attention of both mortals and gods. Apollo, proud of his son's achievements, supported Asclepius in his mission to heal humanity. Together, they represented the dual aspects of healing: Apollo as the god who could ward off plagues and diseases, and Asclepius as the hands-on healer who cured ailments and restored life. This partnership between father and son underscored the importance of balance in the healing arts, combining divine intervention with practical knowledge. However, Asclepius's ability to resurrect the dead eventually drew the ire of Hades, the god of the underworld, who feared that his realm would be emptied of souls. Hades complained to Zeus, who in turn struck Asclepius down with a thunderbolt. Apollo, devastated by the loss of his son, sought vengeance by killing the Cyclops who had forged Zeus's thunderbolt. This act of defiance led to Apollo being temporarily exiled from Olympus, a testament to the depth of his love for Asclepius. Despite this tragic end, Asclepius's legacy endured. He was immortalized as a god of healing, and his symbol, a staff entwined with a serpent, became an enduring emblem of medicine. Temples dedicated to Asclepius, known as Asclepians, sprang up across the ancient world, where the sick would come to seek cures through rituals, dreams, and the guidance of his priests. Apollo's role as the father of Asclepius not only highlights his connection to the healing arts, but also reveals his capacity for both wrath and compassion. Through this story, we see Apollo not just as a distant deity, but as a father who deeply cared for his son and the legacy they shared. Their bond reminds us of the enduring power of healing, a gift that transcends the boundaries between gods and mortals. As we continue to explore Apollo's divine arts, we'll uncover more stories that reveal the many facets of this complex and multifaceted god. Each tale adds another layer to our understanding of Apollo, whose influence touched every aspect of life in the ancient world. Now, as we journey deeper into the myths surrounding Apollo, we come across a tale that intertwines love, loss, and the mysterious forces of nature. This is the story of Dryope, a nymph whose life took a tragic turn, forever binding her to the natural world through Apollo's divine influence. Dryope was a gentle and beautiful nymph, known for her kindness and her deep connection to the forests and rivers. One day, while wandering near a tranquil lake, she encountered Apollo, who was instantly captivated by her grace and innocence. The god, known for his charm and allure, sought to win her affection. However, Dryope, devoted to her life among the trees and waters, was hesitant to embrace the advances of a god. Despite her reluctance, Apollo's persistence eventually led to a union between them. Dryope gave birth to a son, Amphisus, who would later become a revered figure in his own right. For a time, Dryope's life seemed blessed as she balanced her role as a mother with her love for the natural world. But fate had other plans for her. One day, while gathering flowers near the lake with her son, Dryope unknowingly plucked blossoms from a sacred lotus tree. This tree was no ordinary plant. It was the transformed nymph Lotis, who had been turned into a tree to escape the unwanted advances of another god. As Dryope picked the flowers, she felt a strange sensation coursing through her body. Her hands began to stiffen, her feet rooted themselves to the ground, and her skin turned to bark. Realizing what was happening, she cried out in despair, calling for her son and Apollo. Apollo, hearing her cries, rushed to her side, but even his divine powers could not reverse the transformation. Dryope's fate was sealed by the will of the gods, and she was destined to become a tree herself. As her final moments approached, she begged Apollo to watch over their son and to ensure that her memory would live on in the forest she loved so dearly. Apollo, heartbroken yet bound by the laws of the divine, honored her request. He ensured that Amphisus grew up under the protection of the gods and later founded a sanctuary in honor of his mother. The tree that Dryope became was revered as sacred, a symbol of her enduring connection to nature and her tragic story. This tale of Dryope serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between mortals, nature, and the gods. Apollo's role in her story highlights his capacity for both passion and sorrow, as well as his respect for the natural order. Through Dryope's transformation, we see how the ancient Greeks viewed the intertwining of human lives with the forces of the divine and the natural world. As we move forward, we'll uncover more stories that reveal the many layers of Apollo's influence, each one adding depth to our understanding of this complex and multifaceted god. Now, let us turn our attention to a lesser-known but equally fascinating chapter in Apollo's divine legacy, the Oracle of a Bee. Nestled in the heart of ancient Greece, this sanctuary was one of the many places where Apollo's prophetic voice echoed, offering guidance and wisdom to those who sought it. Though not as renowned as Delphi, the Oracle of a Bee held a unique place in the spiritual landscape of the ancient world. The origins of the Oracle of a Bee are steeped in mystery, much like the god it served. According to legend, the sanctuary was established in the region of Marsyas, a land rich in myth and history. It was said that Apollo himself chose this site, drawn by its serene beauty and the sacred energy that flowed through its hills and valleys. Over time, the Oracle of a Bee became a place of pilgrimage for those seeking answers to life's most pressing questions, from kings and warriors to ordinary citizens. The rituals at a bee were deeply rooted in tradition, reflecting Apollo's dual role as a god of prophecy and purification. Those who came to consult the oracle would first undergo a period of cleansing, both physical and spiritual. This often involved bathing in sacred springs and offering prayers to Apollo, asking for his favor and clarity. The supplicants would then present offerings, gifts of wine, grain, or precious objects as a sign of their devotion and respect. At the heart of the sanctuary stood the temple where the oracle, a priestess chosen for her purity and connection to the divine, would deliver Apollo's messages. The process of receiving a prophecy was both solemn and awe-inspiring. The priestess, often in a trance-like state, would channel Apollo's voice, speaking in riddles and metaphors that required careful interpretation. These cryptic messages were believed to hold the key to the future, guiding individuals and communities through times of uncertainty. The Oracle of a Bee also played a significant role in the political and military affairs of ancient Greece. Leaders would often seek its counsel before making important decisions, trusting in Apollo's wisdom to steer them toward victory or peace. However, like many sacred sites, the sanctuary faced its share of challenges. During the Persian Wars, the Oracle of a Bee was destroyed by invading forces, a tragic event that left a deep scar on the region. Yet, even in its ruins, the sanctuary remained a symbol of Apollo's enduring presence and the resilience of faith. What makes the Oracle of a Bee particularly intriguing is its connection to the broader tapestry of Apollo's worship. While it may not have achieved the fame of Delphi, it served as a reminder that Apollo's influence extended far beyond the most celebrated sites. Each oracle, each sanctuary, added a unique thread to the rich fabric of his divine arts, offering different perspectives on his power and benevolence. As we reflect on the Oracle of a Bee, we are reminded of the diversity and depth of Apollo's legacy. This lesser-known sanctuary invites us to explore the quieter corners of his mythos, where stories of faith, prophecy, and human aspiration continue to resonate. And with that, we move forward, ready to uncover yet another chapter in the extraordinary tales of Apollo and his divine arts. Now, let us step into the realm of creativity and inspiration, where Apollo shines not only as a god of prophecy and healing, but also as the revered Muses, the leader of the Muses. This title, often overlooked in the grand tapestry of his divine roles, reveals yet another layer of Apollo's multifaceted influence on the ancient world. As Muses, Apollo presided over the arts, guiding the Muses and inspiring mortals and gods alike to create works of beauty and meaning. The Muses, 9 sisters born from the union of Zeus and Mnemosyne, were the embodiment of artistic and intellectual pursuits. Each muse governed a specific domain, from epic poetry to dance, from astronomy to history. Apollo, as their leader, was not merely a figurehead but an active participant in their creative endeavors. He was often depicted with a lyre in hand, his music harmonizing with the voices of the Muses, creating a symphony that echoed through the heavens and the earth. Apollo's role as Musagetes was deeply intertwined with his identity as a god of light and clarity. Just as he brought illumination to the world through the sun, he also brought enlightenment through the arts. His influence was believed to spark the creative fire within poets, musicians, and artists, guiding their hands and minds to produce works that transcended the ordinary. It was said that those who invoked Apollo's blessing before embarking on their creative journeys would find their efforts imbued with divine inspiration. One of the most striking examples of Apollo's connection to the Muses can be found in the story of Orpheus, the legendary musician whose melodies could charm even the stones and trees. Orpheus was often described as a protege of Apollo, his talent a gift from the god himself. Through Orpheus, Apollo's influence extended into the mortal world, demonstrating the transformative power of music and poetry. This bond between god and mortal underscored the belief that artistic inspiration was a divine gift, one that connected humanity to the sacred. The sanctuaries dedicated to Apollo and the Muses were places of learning and creativity, where artists and scholars gathered to hone their craft. The most famous of these was the Marsyas in Alexandria, a center of knowledge and culture that housed the great library of Alexandria. Here, Apollo's presence was felt in every scroll, every sculpture, and every song, a testament to his enduring role as a patron of the arts. Apollo's title as Musagetes also highlights the ancient Greeks' reverence for the arts as a vital aspect of human life. They believed that creativity was not merely a pastime but a means of understanding the world and expressing the divine. Through Apollo's guidance, the Muses became a bridge between the mortal and the immortal, their works a reflection of the harmony and order that Apollo himself represented. As we explore Apollo's role as Musagetes, we are reminded of the timeless power of artistic inspiration. His influence continues to resonate in the works of poets, musicians, and artists who seek to capture the beauty and complexity of the human experience. And with that, we turn our gaze to yet another chapter in the extraordinary legacy of Apollo, where his divine arts continue to inspire and illuminate. Now, let us journey to the ancient city of Grinion, where Apollo's prophetic powers took on a unique and lesser-known form. Nestled along the coast of Asia Minor, the Oracle of Grinion stood as one of the many sacred sites dedicated to Apollo, though its story is often overshadowed by the more famous Oracle of Delphi. Yet, this oracle held its own significance, offering a glimpse into the diverse ways Apollo's divine influence manifested across the ancient world. The Oracle of Grinion was renowned for its connection to Apollo's role as a god of prophecy. Unlike Delphi, where the Pythia delivered cryptic messages, the rituals at Grinion were deeply tied to the natural world. The oracle was said to be located near a grove of sacred laurel trees, a symbol closely associated with Apollo. Pilgrims and seekers of wisdom would travel to this serene sanctuary, seeking guidance through the rustling of the leaves and the whispers of the wind, believed to carry Apollo's divine voice. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Oracle of Grinion was its association with the myth of Apollo and the nymph Grine. According to legend, Grine was a nymph who caught Apollo's attention, and in her honor he established the oracle at the site where they first met. This connection between the oracle and the natural landscape underscored the ancient belief that Apollo's prophetic powers were not confined to grand temples but could also be found in the quiet beauty of the earth itself. The rituals performed at Grinion were unique in their simplicity and reverence for nature. Visitors would often bring offerings of laurel branches or libations, seeking to honor Apollo and gain his favor. The priests of Grinion, known for their deep connection to the land, would interpret the signs of nature, be it the flight of birds, the patterns of clouds, or the movement of the sacred laurel leaves, as messages from the god. This intimate relationship between Apollo, the oracle, and the natural world highlighted the belief that divine wisdom could be found in the most unexpected places. While the oracle of Grynion may not have achieved the fame of Delphi, its role in the ancient world was no less significant. It served as a reminder that Apollo's prophetic powers were not limited to grand pronouncements but could also be found in the subtle, everyday wonders of the world. The oracle's connection to nature and its emphasis on simplicity offered a different perspective on Apollo's divine arts, one that resonated deeply with those who sought a more personal and grounded form of guidance. As we reflect on the oracle of Grynion, we are reminded of the many ways Apollo's influence touched the lives of the ancient Greeks. From the grandeur of Delphi to the quiet groves of Grynion, his prophetic powers were as diverse as the people who sought his wisdom. And with that, we turn our attention to yet another chapter in Apollo's extraordinary legacy, where his divine arts continue to inspire and illuminate. Now, let us step into the realm of Apollo's healing arts, where his divine touch extended beyond prophecy and music into the sacred practices of ancient medicine. Apollo, revered not only as a god of prophecy and the arts but also as a healer, was deeply intertwined with the rituals and remedies that sought to cure both body and soul. Across the ancient world, sanctuaries dedicated to Apollo served as centers of healing, where the sick and the suffering came in search of relief and renewal. At the heart of these healing rituals was the belief that Apollo's power could cleanse and restore. Offerings played a crucial role in these practices, with devotees bringing gifts such as honey, laurel branches, and small clay figurines representing the afflicted body parts. These offerings were not merely symbolic, they were acts of devotion, a way to honor Apollo and seek his favor. Alongside these gifts, prayers were recited, often in poetic form, invoking Apollo's blessings and asking for his intervention in curing ailments. One of the most fascinating aspects of Apollo's healing rituals was their holistic approach. The ancient Greeks believed that illness was often a sign of divine displeasure or imbalance, and healing required not just physical remedies but also spiritual purification. Rituals often began with cleansing ceremonies, where the sick would bathe in sacred springs or be anointed with oils infused with herbs believed to carry Apollo's healing essence. These acts of purification were thought to prepare the body and spirit to receive the god's grace. Music and song also played a significant role in these rituals. Apollo, as the god of music, was believed to channel his healing power through harmonious sounds. Priests and healers would chant hymns in his honor, using rhythm and melody to create an atmosphere of tranquility and hope. The lyre, Apollo's sacred instrument, was often played during these ceremonies, its soothing tones believed to calm the mind and open the heart to divine healing. Another key element of Apollo's healing rituals was the use of medicinal herbs. Temples dedicated to Apollo often had gardens filled with plants believed to have curative properties. Priests, who were also skilled in the art of herbal medicine, would prepare remedies using these plants, combining them with prayers and invocations to Apollo. This blend of natural medicine and divine intervention reflected the ancient belief that healing was a partnership between the mortal and the divine. Perhaps one of the most enduring legacies of Apollo's healing rituals is their emphasis on hope and renewal. For the ancient Greeks, these practices were not just about curing physical ailments, but also about restoring harmony and balance to life. Apollo's sanctuaries became places of refuge where the sick could find solace and the weary could regain their strength. As we explore these ancient healing rituals, we are reminded of Apollo's multifaceted role in the lives of the ancient Greeks. From the grand temples of Delphi to the quiet groves of Grynion, his influence touched every aspect of their existence, offering not just prophecy and inspiration, but also the promise of healing and renewal. And with that, we turn to yet another chapter in Apollo's extraordinary legacy, where his divine arts continue to inspire and illuminate. Now, let us journey to the shores of ancient Ionia, where the Oracle of Branchidae once stood as a beacon of Apollo's prophetic power. Nestled near the city of Miletus, this sanctuary was one of the most revered oracles in the ancient world, second only to Delphi in its prominence. The Oracle of Branchidae, also known as the Didymaeon, was a place where seekers from far and wide came to hear the divine whispers of Apollo, delivered through his chosen priestesses and priests. The origins of the Oracle of Branchidae are steeped in myth and legend. According to tradition, the site was established by Marsyas, a shepherd boy beloved by Apollo for his purity and devotion. Apollo, moved by Marsyas's faith, granted him the gift of prophecy, and the sanctuary became a sacred space where mortals could commune with the divine. Over time, the oracle grew in fame, attracting pilgrims, kings, and philosophers who sought guidance on matters of war, governance, and personal destiny. The temple itself was a marvel of ancient architecture, rivaling even the grandeur of Delphi. Its towering columns and intricate carvings depicted scenes from Apollo's myths, celebrating his divine arts and his role as a bringer of light and truth. At the heart of the temple stood the sacred spring, believed to be a direct conduit to Apollo's wisdom. Here, the priestess, known as the Branchidae, would enter a trance-like state, delivering prophecies in cryptic verses that required interpretation by the temple's priests. However, the Oracle of Branchidae's glory was not destined to last forever. Its decline began during the Persian Wars, when the sanctuary fell under the control of the Persian Empire. The Branchidae, the priestly family who had served the oracle for generations, were accused of collaborating with the Persians, leading to their exile and the desecration of the temple. Though the oracle was later restored under Alexander the Great, it never fully regained its former prestige. The final blow came with the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire. As the new faith spread, the ancient pagan sanctuaries, including the Oracle of Branchidae, were gradually abandoned. The temple fell into ruin, its once sacred halls silent and overgrown. Yet, even in its decline, the Oracle of Branchidae remains a testament to Apollo's enduring influence and the profound role of prophecy in the ancient world. As we reflect on the rise and fall of this once great sanctuary, we are reminded of the fleeting nature of human endeavors and the timeless power of the divine. The Oracle of Branchidae may no longer echo with the voices of prophets, but its legacy endures, a reminder of Apollo's eternal presence in the hearts and minds of those who seek truth and light. And with that, we turn to another chapter in Apollo's story, where his divine arts continue to unfold in unexpected ways. Now, let us step into the enchanting world of Apollo's romantic entanglements, where love and transformation intertwine in the most unexpected ways. Our next tale brings us to the story of Apollo and the nymph Acantha, a myth that beautifully illustrates the god's passion and the bittersweet consequences of divine affection. Acantha, a nymph of extraordinary beauty and grace, was known for her fierce independence and her deep connection to the natural world. She spent her days wandering through lush forests and meadows, her presence bringing life and vitality to the flora around her. It was during one of these wanderings that Apollo first laid eyes on her, and like so many before him, he was instantly captivated by her charm. Apollo, ever the ardent suitor, approached Acantha with all the charm and eloquence befitting a god of the arts. He spoke of her beauty, comparing her to the most radiant flowers and the brightest stars. Yet, despite his poetic words and divine allure, Acantha remained unmoved. She valued her freedom above all else and had no desire to be bound by the affections of a god, no matter how powerful or persuasive. Frustrated by her resistance, Apollo's pursuit grew more insistent. He showered her with gifts and promises, hoping to win her heart, but Acantha, true to her nature, stood firm in her resolve. Her refusal only deepened Apollo's longing, and in a moment of desperation, he attempted to take her by force. Acantha, however, was not one to yield easily. she fought back with all her strength, her spirit as unyielding as the earth itself. In the end, it was not love but tragedy that marked their story. As Apollo grappled with Acantha, she cried out to the gods for deliverance. In response, they transformed her into a plant, forever preserving her beauty and independence in the form of the acanthus. This hardy plant, with its striking leaves and resilient nature, became a symbol of endurance and grace, a living testament to Acantha's unbroken spirit. Apollo, though heartbroken, could not help but admire her transformation. He adorned his temples with carvings of the acanthus plant, ensuring that her memory would endure for generations to come. The acanthus leaf, with its intricate patterns and timeless elegance, became a beloved motif in ancient art and architecture, a reminder of the nymph who defied a god and found immortality in nature. As we reflect on this tale, we are reminded of the complexities of love and the power of transformation. Apollo's love for Acantha, though unrequited, left an indelible mark on the world, a testament to the enduring beauty of the natural world and the strength of the human, or in this case, nymph, spirit. And with that, we turn to another chapter in Apollo's divine saga, where his arts and passions continue to shape the world in ways both profound and unexpected. Now, let us journey to the quiet corners of ancient Greece, where the whispers of prophecy still linger in the air. Our next stop is the Oracle of Tegira, a sanctuary of Apollo that, though lesser known, holds a unique place in the tapestry of his divine arts. Nestled in the region of Boeotia, Tegira was a site of profound spiritual significance, where Apollo's voice was said to echo through the sacred rituals of his priests and priestesses. The Oracle of Tegira was not as grand or as famous as Delphi or Didyma, but it was no less revered by those who sought its guidance. Here, Apollo was worshipped as a god of prophecy and healing, his presence felt in the tranquil groves and the murmuring springs that surrounded the sanctuary. Pilgrims would travel from far and wide, drawn by the promise of divine insight and the hope of finding answers to their most pressing questions. What set Tegira apart was its intimate connection to Apollo's role as a protector and guide. Unlike the grand ceremonies of Delphi, the rituals at Tegira were more personal, often involving direct communication between the supplicant and the god. The priests of Tegira were known for their deep devotion and their ability to interpret Apollo's will with clarity and compassion. This made the oracle a place of solace for many, a sanctuary where the divine felt close and accessible. One of the most fascinating aspects of Tegira was its association with Apollo's healing powers. The sanctuary was believed to be a place where the sick could find relief, their ailments cured through the god's divine intervention. Offerings of herbs, flowers, and small tokens were left at the altar, each one a plea for Apollo's mercy and a testament to the faith of those who sought his aid. Though the Oracle of Tegira may not have the same renown as some of Apollo's other sanctuaries, its quiet significance cannot be overlooked. It serves as a reminder that Apollo's influence was not confined to the grandest temples or the most famous oracles. His presence could be felt in the smallest, most humble places where the faithful gathered to seek his wisdom and his grace. As we leave the serene groves of Tegira behind, we are reminded of the many ways Apollo's divine arts touched the lives of mortals. From the grand stages of prophecy to the quiet corners of healing, his legacy is one of guidance, protection, and transformation. And with that, we turn to yet another chapter in Apollo's story, where his influence continues to shape the world in ways both seen and unseen. Now, let us step into the realm of Apollo's healing temples, where the divine and the earthly intertwine to offer solace and restoration to those in need. These sacred spaces were more than just places of worship. They were sanctuaries of hope where the sick and suffering sought Apollo's divine intervention to heal their bodies and spirits. Scattered across the ancient world, these temples stood as testaments to Apollo's role as a god of healing, blending architectural grandeur with profound spiritual significance. One of the most remarkable aspects of Apollo's healing temples was their design. Built with meticulous care, these structures often featured elements that reflected Apollo's dual nature as a god of light and healing. Many temples were situated near natural springs or groves, places believed to be imbued with Apollo's restorative energy. The architecture itself was designed to inspire awe and reverence, with grand columns, intricate carvings, and open courtyards that allowed the light of the sun, Apollo's celestial domain, to flood the sacred spaces. The spiritual practices within these temples were equally significant. Pilgrims would come from far and wide, often after long and arduous journeys, to seek Apollo's aid. Rituals varied from temple to temple, but common practices included offerings of herbs, flowers, and small tokens, as well as prayers and hymns sung in Apollo's honor. In some temples, the sick would sleep in special chambers known as a baton, where they hoped to receive divine dreams or visions that would reveal the cure for their ailments. These dreams were interpreted by the temple priests, who acted as intermediaries between the divine and the mortal world. Perhaps the most famous of Apollo's healing temples was the sanctuary at Epidaurus, a site renowned for its advanced medical practices and its connection to Asclepius, Apollo's son and the god of healing. Here, the sick were treated with a combination of spiritual and physical remedies, including herbal medicines, therapeutic baths, and even surgical procedures. The temple complex at Epidaurus also included a theater and a stadium, reflecting the belief that a healthy body and mind were interconnected. But Apollo's healing temples were not limited to Greece. From the shores of Asia Minor to the hills of Italy, these sanctuaries served as centers of healing and hope for countless people. Each temple had its own unique traditions and rituals, yet all shared a common purpose: to bring Apollo's divine healing power to those in need. As we reflect on these ancient healing temples, we are reminded of the enduring legacy of Apollo's divine arts. These sacred spaces were not just architectural marvels. They were places where the boundaries between the mortal and the divine blurred, where faith and science coexisted, and where the promise of healing brought light to the darkest moments of human life. And as we continue our journey through Apollo's stories, we will see how his influence extended even further, shaping the world in ways that continue to resonate today. Turning our attention to another of Apollo's sacred sites, we arrive at the Oracle of Thun, a lesser-known yet deeply significant sanctuary nestled in the rugged hills of Boeotia. This oracle, though not as famous as Delphi or Didyma, held a unique place in the spiritual landscape of ancient Greece, offering guidance and prophecy to those who sought Apollo's wisdom. The Oracle of Thun was more than just a place of divination. It was a testament to Apollo's far-reaching influence and the diverse ways in which his divine arts were celebrated across the ancient world. The history of the Oracle of Thun is steeped in myth and tradition. According to legend, the site was originally dedicated to a local hero named Thun, who was later associated with Apollo. Over time, the sanctuary became a center for Apollo's worship, blending local customs with the broader traditions of the god's cult. The oracle's location, high on Mount Thun, added to its mystique, as pilgrims had to undertake a challenging journey to reach the sacred precinct. This physical ascent mirrored the spiritual journey seekers hoped to undertake, ascending from uncertainty to divine clarity. The rituals at the Oracle of Thun were both solemn and intricate. Like other oracles dedicated to Apollo, the Pythia, or priestess, played a central role in delivering prophecies. She would enter a trance-like state, often induced by inhaling vapors or drinking sacred water, to channel Apollo's divine messages. Pilgrims would present their questions, which ranged from personal dilemmas to matters of state, and the Pythia's cryptic responses were interpreted by the temple priests. These prophecies were highly regarded, and many sought them out for guidance in times of crisis or decision. The sanctuary itself was a place of architectural beauty and spiritual power. The temple complex included altars, statues, and sacred groves, all designed to honor Apollo and create an atmosphere of reverence. One of the most striking features was the sacred spring, believed to be a source of Apollo's prophetic power. Pilgrims would often drink from or bathe in its waters, hoping to gain insight or healing. The site also hosted festivals and games in Apollo's honor, drawing visitors from across the region and reinforcing the oracle's importance in the religious and cultural life of Boeotia. What set the Oracle of Thun apart was its connection to the local landscape and traditions. Unlike the grander oracles at Delphi or Didyma, Thun retained a more intimate regional character. This allowed it to serve as a bridge between the universal aspects of Apollo's worship and the specific needs and beliefs of the local community. It was a place where the divine and the earthly met, where the universal truths of Apollo's prophecies were filtered through the lens of local identity. As we explore the Oracle of Thun, we are reminded of the diversity and richness of Apollo's sacred sites. Each sanctuary, whether grand or humble, played a vital role in bringing Apollo's divine arts to the people. The Oracle of Thun, with its unique history and rituals, stands as a testament to the enduring power of Apollo's influence, offering a glimpse into the ways in which the ancient world sought to connect with the divine. And as we continue our journey through Apollo's stories, we will uncover even more layers of his multifaceted legacy, revealing how his presence shaped the lives and beliefs of countless generations. Now, let us turn our gaze to a tale of love, loss, and divine transformation as we explore the story of Apollo and the nymph Leucothea. This myth, rich with emotion and symbolism, reveals yet another layer of Apollo's complex relationships and the profound impact of his divine presence on the lives of mortals and immortals alike. Leucothea, whose name means white goddess, was a nymph of extraordinary beauty known for her grace and purity. Her story begins in the mortal realm, where she lived a life of simplicity and peace. However, her fate became intertwined with Apollo's when the god, captivated by her radiance, fell deeply in love with her. Apollo, often associated with light and clarity, saw in Leucothea a reflection of his own divine essence, and their connection was both passionate and profound. Yet, as is often the case in the world of myth, their love was not destined to last. Leucothea's beauty and her relationship with Apollo drew the envy of others, including Clytie, a nymph who harbored her own unrequited love for the sun god. Consumed by jealousy, Clytie revealed Leucothea's secret affair to her father, Orchomus, a king known for his strict and unforgiving nature. Enraged by what he saw as a betrayal of his family's honor, Orchomus condemned Leucothea to a cruel and tragic fate. In a heart-wrenching act of punishment, Orchomus buried Leucothea alive, entombing her beneath the earth. Apollo, devastated by the loss of his beloved, could not bear to see her perish in such a manner. In an act of divine compassion, he transformed her lifeless body into a fragrant shrub known as the frankincense tree, which would forever symbolize her purity and the enduring nature of their love. But Apollo's intervention did not end there. Recognizing Leucothea's spirit as too radiant to be confined to the earth, he elevated her to the status of a sea goddess, granting her immortality and a place among the divine. As the goddess Leucothea, she became a protector of sailors and a beacon of hope for those lost at sea. Her transformation from a mortal nymph to a divine figure reflects the themes of renewal and transcendence that are central to many of Apollo's myths. Through her story, we see how Apollo's love could both elevate and immortalize those he cherished, even in the face of tragedy. The tale of Apollo and Leucothea also serves as a reminder of the consequences of envy and the destructive power of unchecked emotions. Clytie's jealousy not only led to Leucothea's suffering but also sealed her own fate, as she was later transformed into a heliotrope, a flower that eternally turns its face toward the sun, forever longing for Apollo's affection. As we reflect on this poignant story, we are reminded of the duality of Apollo's nature, his capacity for both profound love and divine justice. the myth of Leucothea invites us to consider the ways in which love, loss, and transformation are woven into the fabric of the divine, shaping the lives of gods and mortals alike. And as we continue our journey through Apollo's stories, we will uncover even more tales that reveal the depth and complexity of his divine arts. Now, let us journey to the ancient city of Sparta, where the Oracle of Amyclae stands as a testament to Apollo's enduring influence in the realm of prophecy and divine guidance. This lesser-known sanctuary, nestled in the heart of a region famed for its warriors and discipline, offers a fascinating glimpse into how Apollo's presence shaped the spiritual and cultural life of the Spartans. The Oracle of Amyclae was not just a place of worship but a center of profound significance for the people of Sparta. Unlike the more famous Oracle of Delphi, which drew visitors from across the ancient world, the Oracle of Amyclae served primarily as a local sanctuary, deeply intertwined with the identity and traditions of the Spartan people. Here, Apollo was venerated not only as a god of prophecy but also as a protector and guide, embodying the values of clarity, order, and strength that resonated with the Spartan way of life. At the heart of the sanctuary stood a magnificent statue of Apollo, known as the Amyclaean Apollo. This statue, crafted with exquisite artistry, depicted the god holding a bow and a lyre, symbolizing his dual roles as a bringer of both destruction and harmony. The Spartans believed that this representation of Apollo reflected their own ideals, balance between the martial and the artistic, the fierce and the refined. The rituals performed at the Oracle of Amyclae were unique, blending elements of prophecy with athletic and musical competitions. These events, held in honor of Apollo, were not merely religious ceremonies but also celebrations of Spartan culture and prowess. The Pythian Games, though less renowned than those at Delphi, were a highlight of the sanctuary's activities, drawing participants and spectators from across the region. Through these games, the Spartans demonstrated their devotion to Apollo while showcasing their physical and artistic talents. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Oracle of Amyclae was its connection to the myth of Hyacinthus, Apollo's beloved companion. According to legend, Hyacinthus was accidentally killed during a friendly discus-throwing contest with Apollo, and the god, in his grief, transformed the youth's spilled blood into the hyacinth flower. The sanctuary at Amyclae was said to house the tomb of Hyacinthus, making it a site of both mourning and reverence. This blending of myth and ritual highlights the deeply personal relationship the Spartans felt with Apollo, seeing in him not just a distant deity but a god intimately connected to their history and emotions. The Oracle of Amyclae also played a crucial role in Spartan politics and decision-making. Leaders and citizens alike sought Apollo's guidance through the oracle, believing that the god's wisdom could illuminate the best path forward in times of uncertainty. Whether it was matters of war, governance, or personal dilemmas, the Spartans turned to Apollo for clarity and direction, trusting in his divine insight to guide their actions. As we reflect on the Oracle of Amyclae, we are reminded of the diverse ways in which Apollo's influence manifested across the ancient world. While Delphi may have been the most famous of his sanctuaries, places like Amyclae reveal the depth of his connection to local communities and the unique ways in which his divine arts were celebrated. The story of this sanctuary invites us to consider how Apollo's presence shaped not only the spiritual but also the cultural and political fabric of the societies that revered him. And as we continue our exploration of Apollo's many stories, we will uncover even more tales that reveal the breadth of his divine influence, from the grand sanctuaries to the intimate moments of myth and legend. Now, let us turn our attention to the soothing and mystical world of Apollo's healing chants, a lesser-known yet profoundly significant aspect of his divine arts. In ancient times, music and rhythm were not merely forms of entertainment but powerful tools for healing, and Apollo, as the god of music and medicine, stood at the heart of this practice. His healing chants and hymns were believed to carry divine energy, capable of restoring balance to both body and soul. The use of chants in Apollo's healing rituals was deeply rooted in the belief that sound could influence the natural world and the human spirit. These chants, often accompanied by the lyre or other instruments, were designed to harmonize the mind and body, creating an environment where healing could flourish. The rhythms and melodies were carefully crafted to align with the natural vibrations of the universe, a concept that reflects the ancient Greeks' understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. One of the most famous examples of Apollo's healing chants comes from the sanctuary of Epidaurus, a center of healing dedicated to both Apollo and his son Asclepius. Here, patients seeking cures for ailments would participate in rituals that included singing hymns and chanting prayers to Apollo. These chants were not just pleas for divine intervention but active components of the healing process. The repetitive, meditative nature of the chants was thought to calm the mind, reduce stress, and prepare the body to receive the god's healing power. The hymns sung in Apollo's honor often praised his dual roles as a bringer of both disease and cure. This duality was central to his identity, reflecting the belief that healing required an understanding of the forces that caused illness. The chants invoked Apollo's wisdom and compassion, asking him to cleanse the body of impurities and restore health. In this way, the chants served as a bridge between the mortal and the divine, allowing worshippers to connect with Apollo's healing energy. Interestingly, the healing chants were not limited to the sanctuaries. They were also used in everyday life, particularly during times of illness or distress. Families would gather to sing hymns to Apollo, creating a sense of community and shared purpose. These practices highlight the deeply personal relationship the ancient Greeks had with their gods, seeing them as active participants in their lives rather than distant, untouchable beings. The role of Apollo's healing chants extended beyond physical health. They were also believed to have the power to purify the soul, offering spiritual renewal and emotional healing. This holistic approach to medicine, which addressed both the body and the spirit, was a hallmark of Apollo's influence. It reminds us that the ancient Greeks viewed health as a state of harmony between the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. As we explore the legacy of Apollo's healing chants, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ways in which music and ritual were woven into the fabric of ancient medicine. These practices, though rooted in a different time and culture, offer timeless insights into the power of sound, faith, and community in the healing process. And as we continue our journey through Apollo's many stories, we will uncover even more ways in which his divine arts shaped the lives of those who worshipped him. Now, let us journey to the sacred grounds of the Oracle of Ismenian, a lesser-known yet deeply significant sanctuary dedicated to Apollo. Nestled in the ancient city of Thebes, this oracle held a unique place in the spiritual landscape of Greece, offering guidance and prophecies to those who sought Apollo's wisdom. Unlike the more famous oracle of Delphi, the Oracle of Ismenian was deeply intertwined with the local traditions and myths of Thebes, making it a vital center of worship and divination in its own right. The origins of the Oracle of Ismenian trace back to the early days of Thebes, a city steeped in myth and legend. It was said that the oracle was established near the Ismenus River, a site believed to be blessed by Apollo himself. The river, named after the god Ismenus, a son of Apollo, was considered sacred, and its waters were thought to carry divine energy. This connection to Apollo's lineage added to the oracle's prestige, drawing pilgrims and seekers from across the region. The rituals performed at the Oracle of Ismenian were both elaborate and deeply symbolic. Those seeking guidance would first purify themselves in the waters of the Ismenus River, a practice meant to cleanse both body and spirit before approaching the divine. Offerings of laurel branches, honey, and incense were then made to Apollo, accompanied by prayers and hymns sung in his honor. These rituals were designed to create a sacred atmosphere, inviting the god's presence and ensuring that his messages would be clear and true. One of the most distinctive features of the Oracle of Ismenian was its use of fire in divination. unlike the Pythia at Delphi, who delivered prophecies in a trance-like state, the priests at Ismenian interpreted the will of Apollo through the behavior of sacred flames. They would carefully observe the way the fire burned, the direction of the smoke, and the patterns of the ashes, believing that these signs held hidden messages from the god. This method of divination, known as pyromancy, was a hallmark of the Ismenian oracle and set it apart from other sanctuaries. The oracle of Ismenian also played a crucial role in the political and military life of Thebes. Leaders and generals would often consult the oracle before making important decisions, seeking Apollo's guidance on matters of war, governance, and diplomacy. The prophecies delivered here were highly respected, and many believed that following the oracle's advice was key to securing victory and prosperity. This close connection between the oracle and the city's leadership underscored its importance as a spiritual and civic institution. Despite its significance, the oracle of Ismenian remains one of the lesser-known sanctuaries of Apollo, overshadowed by the fame of Delphi. Yet its unique rituals, deep ties to Theban culture, and distinctive methods of divination make it a fascinating chapter in the story of Apollo's divine arts. As we reflect on the legacy of the Ismenian oracle, we are reminded of the many ways in which Apollo's influence permeated the ancient world, shaping not only individual lives but entire communities. With this glimpse into the oracle of Ismenian, we now turn our attention to another sanctuary, where Apollo's presence continues to reveal new layers of his divine power and wisdom. Now, let us step into a tale of love, loss, and transformation, as we explore the poignant story of Apollo and the nymph Cyparissus. This myth, rich with emotion and symbolism, reveals yet another facet of Apollo's divine nature and his deep connection to the natural world. Cyparissus was a young and beautiful nymph, beloved by Apollo for his grace and gentle spirit. The two shared a bond of deep affection, spending their days together in the forests and meadows where Apollo would often play his lyre, filling the air with melodies that seemed to harmonize with the rustling leaves and flowing streams. Cyparissus, in turn, found joy in the companionship of the god, his laughter echoing like music through the woods. One day, Cyparissus was gifted a magnificent stag by Apollo, a creature of unparalleled beauty and grace. The stag became Cyparissus's constant companion, and the nymph cherished it dearly. However, tragedy struck during a hunting expedition. In a moment of confusion, Cyparissus accidentally struck the stag with his spear, mortally wounding the creature he loved so deeply. Overcome with grief and guilt, Cyparissus was inconsolable, his heart shattered by the loss of his beloved companion. Apollo, witnessing the depth of Cyparissus's sorrow, was moved by his pain. The god, though divine, understood the weight of mortal grief and sought to comfort the nymph. Yet, Cyparissus's despair was so profound that he wished for his own life to end, unable to bear the burden of his guilt. In a moment of divine compassion, Apollo transformed Cyparissus into a cypress tree, a symbol of eternal mourning and remembrance. The cypress, with its tall, slender form and evergreen leaves, became a living testament to Cyparissus's sorrow and Apollo's enduring love. To this day, the cypress tree stands as a symbol of grief and mourning in many cultures, its presence often marking sacred spaces and grave sites. The story of Cyparissus reminds us of the fragility of life and the enduring power of love and loss. It also highlights Apollo's role as a god who, despite his divine nature, is deeply connected to the emotions and struggles of mortals. As we reflect on this tale, we are reminded of the many ways in which Apollo's myths intertwine with the natural world, shaping its beauty and meaning. The cypress tree, born from sorrow, continues to whisper the story of Cyparissus and Apollo, a testament to the timeless bond between gods and mortals. With this story of love and transformation, we now turn to another chapter in Apollo's divine legacy, where his influence continues to unfold in unexpected and profound ways. Now let us journey to the ancient city of Argos, where Apollo's divine presence was honored through a lesser-known but deeply significant sanctuary, the Oracle of Argos. This oracle, though not as famous as Delphi or Didyma, held a unique place in the spiritual landscape of ancient Greece, offering guidance and prophecy to those who sought Apollo's wisdom. The Oracle of Argos was situated in a region steeped in myth and history, a place where the divine and mortal worlds often intersected. Argos itself was one of the oldest cities in Greece, with a rich tapestry of legends tied to its founding and its people. The oracle, dedicated to Apollo, served as a beacon of his prophetic power, drawing pilgrims and seekers from across the land. What set the Oracle of Argos apart was its connection to the local traditions and the unique rituals performed there. Unlike the grand ceremonies of Delphi, the oracle in Argos was known for its intimate and personal approach to divination. Those who came to seek answers would often undergo purification rites, offering prayers and sacrifices to Apollo in hopes of receiving his favor. The priests and priestesses of the oracle, believed to be chosen by the god himself, would then interpret the signs and omens, delivering messages that shaped the lives and decisions of those who sought guidance. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Oracle of Argos was its role in the political and social life of the city. Leaders and rulers would often consult the oracle before making significant decisions, trusting in Apollo's wisdom to guide their actions. This practice not only reinforced the oracle's importance, but also highlighted Apollo's influence as a god who bridged the realms of the divine and the earthly. Though the Oracle of Argos may not have achieved the widespread fame of other sanctuaries, its impact on the local community and its role in preserving Apollo's legacy cannot be overlooked. It stands as a testament to the god's enduring presence in the lives of mortals, offering a glimpse into the ways in which his divine art shaped the ancient world. As we leave the sacred grounds of Argos, we are reminded of the many ways Apollo's influence extended beyond the grandest temples and into the hearts of those who sought his guidance. The Oracle of Argos, though lesser known, remains a vital thread in the rich tapestry of Apollo's divine legacy. With this exploration of Apollo's connection to Argos, we now turn to another chapter in his story, where his influence continues to unfold in unexpected and profound ways. Now, let us step into the verdant world of Apollo's healing arts, where the power of nature and divinity intertwine. Apollo, revered not only as a god of prophecy and music but also as a healer, held a profound connection to medicinal herbs. These plants, believed to be gifts from the gods, were central to ancient healing practices, and Apollo's influence over them was both revered and celebrated. In the ancient world, healing was as much a spiritual endeavor as it was a physical one. Apollo's sanctuaries often doubled as centers of healing, where priests and practitioners would combine prayers to the god with the use of medicinal herbs. These herbs were carefully selected, cultivated, and prepared, each believed to carry a fragment of Apollo's divine power. From soothing ailments to purifying the body, these plants were seen as vital tools in restoring health and balance. One of the most famous herbs associated with Apollo was laurel, a plant already sacred to him through the story of Daphne. Laurel leaves were not only used in rituals and crowns but also in medicinal preparations believed to cleanse the body and spirit. Another herb closely tied to Apollo was peony, known for its healing properties and often used to treat wounds and illnesses. The ancient Greeks believed that Apollo himself had revealed the secrets of these plants to mortals, guiding them in their use for the betterment of humanity. The practice of using herbs in healing was deeply rooted in the belief that Apollo's divine touch could be found in the natural world. Temples dedicated to Apollo often featured gardens filled with medicinal plants where priests would harvest and prepare remedies. These remedies were administered alongside prayers and rituals, creating a holistic approach to healing that addressed both the body and the soul. Apollo's role as a healer extended beyond the physical realm. His association with medicinal herbs also symbolized the idea of purification and renewal. Just as herbs could cleanse the body, Apollo's divine arts were believed to purify the mind and spirit, offering a path to wholeness and harmony. This dual role as a physical and spiritual healer made Apollo a central figure in the lives of those seeking relief from suffering. As we reflect on Apollo's connection to healing herbs, we are reminded of the timeless bond between humanity and the natural world. The ancient practices of using plants for healing, guided by Apollo's wisdom, continue to inspire modern approaches to medicine and wellness. Apollo's legacy as a healer lives on, not only in the stories of his divine arts but also in the enduring power of nature's remedies. With this exploration of Apollo's healing herbs, we now turn to the final chapter of our journey, where we uncover the last sanctuary dedicated to Apollo and the rituals that kept his divine presence alive in the ancient world. As we near the end of our journey through Apollo's divine legacy, we arrive at the Oracle of Theoxaon, a lesser-known yet deeply significant sanctuary dedicated to the god of prophecy and healing. Nestled in the rugged landscapes of ancient Greece, Theoxaon was a place where the divine and the mortal worlds intersected, offering seekers a chance to connect with Apollo's wisdom through sacred rituals and prophetic revelations. The Oracle of Theoxaon, though not as famous as Delphi or Didyma, held a unique place in Apollo's worship. It was here that pilgrims and devotees would gather, drawn by the promise of guidance and clarity. The rituals at Theoxaon were steeped in tradition, blending prayer, offerings, and the interpretation of signs believed to be sent by Apollo himself. The sanctuary's priests, known for their deep connection to the god, would mediate between the divine and the human, delivering messages that shaped the lives of those who sought answers. One of the most intriguing aspects of Theoxaon was its emphasis on purification. Before approaching the oracle, visitors were required to undergo a series of cleansing rituals, symbolizing the shedding of impurities to prepare the soul for divine communication. These rituals often included bathing in sacred springs, offering libations, and burning incense, all acts meant to honor Apollo and invite his presence. The air around Theoxaon was said to carry a palpable sense of the divine, a testament to the god's enduring influence. The prophecies delivered at Theoxaon were not always straightforward. Like many oracles of Apollo, the messages were often cryptic, requiring interpretation by the priests. This added an element of mystery and reverence to the process, as seekers would leave the sanctuary pondering the deeper meanings behind the words they had received. The oracle's reputation for accuracy and insight ensured that Theoxaon remained a vital spiritual center, even as other sanctuaries rose to prominence. What set Theoxaon apart was its connection to the natural world. The sanctuary was surrounded by lush groves and flowing streams, believed to be imbued with Apollo's healing energy. Pilgrims would often take pieces of the sacred plants or water from the springs, carrying a fragment of the god's power with them as they returned to their daily lives. This blending of nature and divinity was a hallmark of Apollo's sanctuaries, reflecting his role as both a healer and a guide. As we conclude our exploration of the Oracle of Theoxaon, we are reminded of the enduring allure of Apollo's divine arts. From the grand temples of Delphi to the quiet sanctuaries like Theoxaon, Apollo's presence was felt in every corner of the ancient world. His oracles offered not just answers, but a deeper connection to the divine, a reminder that the gods were always near, ready to guide and heal those who sought their wisdom. With this final story, we bring our journey through the 50 ancient tales of Apollo to a close. From his birth on Delos to his sanctuaries scattered across the ancient world, Apollo's legacy is one of inspiration, healing, and divine artistry. We hope these stories have illuminated the many facets of this remarkable god and encouraged you to explore his fascinating world further. If you've enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite stories in the comments below. Until next time, may Apollo's light guide your path. As we reflect on the 50 ancient stories of Apollo and his divine arts, it becomes clear just how multifaceted and enduring his legacy truly is. From his dramatic birth on the island of Delos to his role as the god of prophecy, healing, music, and the sun, Apollo's influence permeated every aspect of ancient Greek life. Each story we've explored reveals a different facet of his divine nature, whether it's his wisdom as the leader of the Muses, his compassion as a healer, or his fierce protection of sacred spaces like Delphi and Theoxean. Apollo's myths are not just tales of a distant past, they are timeless reflections of human aspirations, struggles, and triumphs. His ability to inspire creativity, offer guidance, and bring healing reminds us of the profound connection between the divine and the mortal world. Through his oracles, sanctuaries, and sacred rituals, Apollo provided a bridge to the gods, offering hope and clarity to those who sought his wisdom. As we close this journey through Apollo's stories, we invite you to carry these tales with you, letting them spark your curiosity and imagination. Whether it's the tragic beauty of Apollo and Daphne, the musical rivalry with Marsyas, or the healing power of his sanctuaries, each story holds a lesson, a mystery, or a moment of wonder. We hope this exploration has deepened your appreciation for Apollo's rich and varied legacy. If you've enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite moments in the comments below. Let us know which tale resonated with you the most or which aspect of Apollo's divine arts you found most fascinating. Until next time, may Apollo's light continue to guide and inspire your path. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ancient world of myth and divinity.